shoot out the tweets, the Twitters, the tweets. And now let's see if this. Oh, I can actually.
Yeah, Brian, what's the answer? Excel or Sheets?
Hold of sheets. Oh wow, they've been chatting in this whole thing the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they got a good chat going. Chat going.
And just to all you guys in the chat.
Oh wow, they've been chatting in this whole.
Fids wasn't pooping. It was my fault.
I'm currently pooping, but I'm sitting right here. So
they need to invent something like that for podcasts.
It's called Depends. Or a colostomy bag, depending on what you got to do.
Need something along those lines.
Yes. Again, fellas, everyone, it was my fault. Blame me. Don't blame Fids.
Yeah, everyone always just wants to jump to blame me. It's just and dry. I'll take the dry January quotation. I'm just trying to make this the post fit.
Yeah.
Two characters off. Damn you, Elon. Perfect. There we go. Boop. All right, there we go. Forwarded it out. And then let's go to this one. Sorry, getting your turn. There it is. And boom. Perfect. All right. Ready, Rock?
Let's do this.
Yep.
All right. And
It's time for the Tainted Glove, starring your favorite man of questionable character, Aloha Mr. Hand.
Hey, bud, let's party.
And the Holy Reverend K. Fitz himself. It's go time, so grab a beer, grab a bite, and settle in. It's time for the Tainted Glove.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tainted Glove. I am one of your co-hosts, the one, the only, the undisputed man with questionable character, Aloha Mr. Hand. With me, as always, is my co-host, my partner in crime, and someone I feel I will probably need to get a few Hail Marys from. That is, of course, the Honorable Reverend K. Fitz. Today is Sunday, February 5th, and we are starting a little late because I was out shooting down Chinese balloons in the sky. But we're excited to have with us the one, the only, the man who made peanut butter and jelly a hot topic on Twitter. Brewhand Luke, thanks for joining us.
Hey, guys, thanks for having me.
K-Fids, take it away.
Yeah, welcome, Luke. So before we even get deep into this, we got to start this properly. I did make a promise. So before we even get into the full scope of this, I do want to point this out real quick. This is Peach Bellini from Wanna Quick. And I just want you guys to see this delicious, if you guys can read this label right here, you'll see that these are 11.34 milligram gummies. And so before we start with Brewhand Luke and we discuss all sorts of wonderful things, I just want you guys to really chill out and lay back. And I'm going to go ahead and ate two of them. So we're going to go 22.68 milligrams. We'll start this bad boy. Don't worry, guys. I got a rock star if I nod off.
We might be needing to say Hail Marys after he did that.
I might actually see her.
But let me say first, Luke. Yeah. But Luke, I love the Cool Hand Luke poster in the back there. That is awesome. A fantastic movie. He gave us one of the great lines in movie history. What we've got here is failure to communicate.
That was the inspiration for the Brewhand Luke Twitter name. Actually, as a matter of fact, was not great. That quote, but obviously the movie.
The movie, yeah.
So, in case people didn't know that, some people might not have ever heard of that movie. Who knows?
It's actually February, so that means in 2 more months it'll be Cool Hand Luke unit in my class. Actually, we watch Cool Hand Luke every year.
Oh, very nice.
Prison noir films. The counterculture movement of the 60s and 70s. So
the main question about that is, do you have a egg eating contest while you're watching that film?
God, we should. I haven't really thought about that until just now. What am I
For
thinking?
those who haven't seen the movie, it is highly, highly recommended to watch.
Mhm. It's great.
George Kennedy won an Oscar as Best Supporting Actor.
And it's obviously the beautiful, beautiful performance from arguably the best eyes in the history of film. With wow, these things aren't even hitting that fast. Wow. With what? Oh my God, what am I losing my mind here?
Was it Strother Martin?
No.
The security guy.
Yeah, with
Cop.
what's the cop with the sunglasses? What's the not the warden? Obviously, the warden. Dragline was
Dragline was George Kennedy.
Dragline was his buddy. What is the name of the dude in the the cop? Like he's the counterculture. He's got soulless eyes. You see the reflections in his aviators. Hold on, I gotta pull it up now. It's gonna bother.
Boy, this
me.
went off the rails quick.
Yeah, we went right into it. Great.
But you know,
Paul Newman being the legend that he is. You've got Dragline, which is George Kennedy. If you've seen Naked Gun, it's Frank Drebin's partner.
Yes.
And you even have small little Dennis Hopper popping up in there a little bit too, even when he was still playing small roles.
And Harry Dean Martin too, as one of the prisoners.
Yep, Tramp.
Yep.
So anyway, so we just went off the rails there a little bit, but
yeah. But speaking of going off, great film. I think everyone here would agree. Highly recommended if you haven't seen it to watch it. Paul Newman gives an incredible performance in the movie. George Kennedy does steal the show, though. Nice shirt. But speaking of going off the rails, let's talk about the White Sox.
Yep.
So, Luke, I think I've been pretty public with my take on the White Sox offseason. What do you think?
Oh, that's a loaded question.
The heavy stuff right out of the gate.
Yeah, exactly.
What do I think? I think a lot of the things that you are sharing and your thoughts are correct, but I also think a lot of those things could turn out to pan out in 2023. Like,
Uh-oh.
We
got that frozen look real quick.
We got MSS freeze.
It looks like he's just
looks like he's stoned.
It looks like he's about to fart. He's like, but we'll get Luke back here in a second. He's about to change the world with something so profound.
Yes, it was going to be so profound, and he's just gone.
This frozen Luke was brought to you by 108 Jerk Rags.
If you need one, they still have plenty. And also, they have a Wave Sucks full zip hoodie on their website right now, available for pre-order. Get on it. And Senor Sox may be right. He may have OD'd on PB&Js.
Oh, he's gone. He dipped out for a second. He might have OD'd. It's probably that that fentanyl.
But while he's gone, let me just respond. Yeah. Let me just respond to what he was starting to say. He's not wrong. I want to make sure everyone understands it. He's not wrong. All the issues that myself and others have raised, there's a possibility that they could all work out. My whole argument about this is that you're in your quote unquote window that we've heard so much about. You're in your contention window, and you're leaving too many things to chance. You don't go into a contention window season with an untested rookie in right field and a possible revolving door at second base and a catcher who may have a great season or he may be done. We don't know. There's just too many different questions, I think. So we just got a text from Luke. His modem went out. He's resetting it right now, and he's blaming Xfinity.
So we'll be there. So by the time he's back, these edibles will definitely kick in.
Yes.
I also make sure that they're peach Bellini, and they're fast acting. So they were fast acting last night when I went and saw Moulin Rouge at Smith Center, the musical. I will say while Luke is out, before you guys get back to White Sox, if you're listening and you get a chance to see the Broadway performance of Moulin Rouge, which is obviously based on the film from Baz Luhrmann, go see it. I saw it last night. It was freaking awesome. Like they take the songs, and I know that if you've seen Moulin Rouge, you know that they sing some of the more modern music. They took Elton John, and this one they modernized it based on what's really popular now. So a bunch of the songs they were singing Post Malone on stage. Like hearing Post Malone in a musical format is a trip. I'll just put it that way. But it was actually a really good musical. So anyway, side note.
So let me just say this. I will go see this musical if they perform one song on stage. If they perform this song, I am there. Take a guess what the song is.
Let's see here. Not Roxanne.
No.
Is there a song called Let Me Remove the Sunglasses so reveal the shock in my eyes? Is that a song?
That's not a song, but it should be. Maybe that could be walk-up music for like Yasmani Grandal this year. But the song would have to be, if they perform No Vaseline by Ice Cube, I'm there.
Oh. Some of the songs they sang was like, because again, if you've seen the film, like Carrie actually said this. She jokes. She goes, "Well, the Lady Gaga song was actually in the end credits. It wasn't actually in the movie." And I'm like, "Oh yeah. First song, Geechee Geechee, yeah, right out of the gate." I'm like, "Oh well, this is different," and it follows the plot obviously, but they do really well. It's fun. So I don't know if Chicago, if it's that traveling Broadway right now that goes around for places or whatever. But so Luke's telling us that he does have a modem issue. Apparently AOL went out, so when he did the dial-up, we can blame.
He only got 2,400 baud. He didn't get 9,600.
Mm-hmm. His aim is giving him some trouble. But, he'll be back in just a second. But he's using a modem. That's nice, Missy.
Nice, Missy. Very nice.
And I hope that you're enjoying those mimosas that you were drinking this afternoon. By the way, I saw that you made a good choice in why not? It's Sunday and it's Mamodum Day.
Mimosa Mamodum.
Mamodum. I don't know.
Maybe the Mamodum had too many PB&Js and mimosas, and that's what's going on.
Well, while we wait for Luke's phone to finally dial up, he was actually dialing in, and then someone else upstairs grabbed the phone and started calling their friend and ruined everything.
Yes.
Mom, I'm on the phone. I'm on the internet.
Mom.
God, that was the worst. Like you're like, I'm getting ready to get on. You're so stoked. You're like, I'm gonna go instant message somebody, and then you're like, you hit the sign in thing, and you hear like, yeah, no, I'm doing this. I know he's an asshole. He needs to
What's
stay.
What's that weird sound that I hear?
God.
What's that weird sound? What is that?
Wah, 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 right? It turns out your sister's on the phone with some guy saying inappropriate things. I'm like, God, that's not my modem. But yeah, so I mean, we'll kind of push around a little bit because we do want to hear. I really want to get. I want to know what feelings are. Luke's a very positive guy. If you guys don't know Luke, we'll give a little background to Luke too. Luke is he's with the 108 a ton. He's the founder of the White Sox Run Club, which by the way is going on right now, trying to log 108 miles before opening day. Great thing that gets a lot of people active. He's a track coach. He's a teacher. So him and I have a lot of things in common as far as being teachers and working with young athletes and stuff. With something we're going to actually play into a little bit later in the show tonight. But he's a huge fan, and actually maybe he is actually the one that Hamilton actually stands, and it's vice versa. I mean, he's a big fan of what's his name? What is Hamilton's? Billy Hamilton. Billy Hamilton's first. Yes. He's like the fan number one. He's like Project Zero. And he actually got lots of shout outs from Billy Hamilton. Mm-hmm. And so, but he's a teacher. He's a great cross country coach. I know that his program does really well every single year, both cross country and then spring track. So, and again, if he's dealing with cross country runners and just runners in general, runners are strange. They wear short shorts. So that's something that he could, probably attest to, that it's, but he does a great job. He's one of our favorite people, like human beings on social media. He's come out to Vegas a few times. He came out when you guys came out, Pete. Yeah. He came out for the when Oregon played. Big Oregon fan, by the way. When Oregon played in the Las Vegas Bowl, so he came out here, and so we hung out at Caesars, and then we went across the street and got some In-N-Out. Him and his buddies had to have some In-N-Out, so I'm there. And
speaking of Vegas, yeah,
Caesars.
I do have one.
Patro boobs.
Yeah, I do have one question for you about Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell everyone who hasn't heard yet on this what the rumor is going around in Vegas right now?
Oh, I'll just flat out say this. I got a text message from a friend whose sister is a manager of one of, I know it sounds really weird, one of the Wells Fargos here in town. And Josh McDaniels was in, and Josh McDaniels was very vocal that Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Raider. like as if we all should just what are you even asking? Of course he's going to be a Raider. Mm-hmm. And it kind of, it's been reported by a couple of other sites that have some good connections. But yeah, I mean, if we go by the manager of a Wells Fargo that Josh McDaniels does his banking with, Aaron Rodgers is headed to the Raiders. So, I mean, how much is that credible? I mean, right? Manager of a Wells Fargo? They don't fuck around. That's your...
And again, yesterday I was watching coverage of the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, and Aaron Rodgers is actually was playing in it when it wasn't being delayed. And they asked him about what's next. And he had said there were a lot of Raiders fans at Pebble Beach who were saying, "Oh, Devontae misses you. You should go to the Raiders." And he sort of, because San Francisco was another team that has been mentioned, and I believe he's from that area.
Yeah, he's from NorCal-ish.
Yeah,
more Central Cal. Yeah,
right. And he went to Cal, right?
Yeah,
he was a Cal Bear, right?
It's right up there. Yeah, Cal is in San Francisco. So
yes. Well, is Cal be? I'm thinking Berkeley, but never mind.
Yeah, Berkeley's
Berkeley is basically closer to Oakland than San Francisco.
Well, I mean, the Bay.
Yeah, it's in the Bay. Yeah, let's not get too semantical here, but he sort of shot
the Bay Bridge is what separates, not the Golden Gate.
Yes, but he sort of shot down the 49ers talk in that same conversation. He shot it down pretty quick because I know there's questions about. Now that you have issues with Brock Purdy and who's the other quarterback? The guy who
Garoppolo's
gone. They've said Garoppolo's gone.
He's free agent.
Yeah,
so
Trey Lance.
Yeah,
Trey Lance is the other one.
First round picks the draft.
Yeah, because there was also talk that Tom Brady was going home to San Francisco to play for the 49ers because Tom Brady grew up as a 49ers fan, and there is a picture of him at the 1981 NFC title game when Joe Montana to Dwight Clark for the catch was made. He was actually at that game, so there was a lot of rumors around that until he stood on the beach and announced his retirement, and then was selling sand from the beach for like $50,000 on eBay.
Here's me, by the way. Right. I mean, we're all Bears fans, I would hope. And if you're not and you're in this podcast, fuck you. But secondly, is that, a lot of my friends, obviously, we hate Aaron Rodgers. I used to actually like Aaron Rodgers. I have to admit this. Early on in Aaron Rodgers' career, I was like, dude, I can't help but not like this guy. He beats the Bears' ass, but it's fine. He's kind of, obviously, over the last 6-7 years, he's turned into a total douche canoe. Mm-hmm. But my buddies all think that he lives rent-free in my head. And I'm like, dude, if he's coming to Vegas, he literally can live rent-free here in Vegas if he moved into my spare room, I guess. That's actually physically possible now to do that. But him coming here in Vegas, to play for the Raiders, does he fit with the Raiders? Derek Carr is like a sweetheart, a nice guy. He's a very, he does everything he can for everybody around him. He's a selfless individual. And then you get Aaron Rodgers, who is almost the exact polar opposite, which is a total self-centered, top douche canoe but will he mesh with the Raiders crowd? I don't know if he's tough enough. I don't know. I don't know if the Raiders fans will be like, this pretty boy. Yeah, shut up with you.
I'm all for it. I am all for it, but I am all for it from a different perspective.
Yeah, get him out of the Central.
Two perspectives. One is that. The other is I'm all for it from a financial perspective. Because I think he would add value to my season tickets with the Raiders.
That's good call.
Yes.
Good call there.
And also, can I make a comment to Jack? Jack is sitting there saying, my wife is watching Seinfeld on Netflix. Kramer has the Kavorka. Now, first, why is she watching Seinfeld? Why isn't she watching this? And second, it should not be called the Kavorka. You know what it should be called? It should be called the Wally.
Mm-hmm. And why is this?
What, the Wally?
Yeah. What is a Kavorka, by the way?
I think the lure of the animal.
Oh,
the women can't resist them.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I think it's the cool water that does it for Wally.
Well, I mean, did you see the pictures of Wally the morning after the 108 day night? Like,
yes,
his complexion.
I was with him that night.
It was almost like he had an Instagram filter. He looked so smooth and so just alert. He didn't look worn out or beaten down. he didn't look like someone had, dehydrated him in a basement for 16 days.
Let me just say this. He didn't look like someone who didn't know how to order an Uber the night before.
Whoops. Wait, that's me. Hold on. You had to order. You know what the worst part is? By the time I got back to the hotel, I was actually like totally cognizant again. So I got back to the room and I'm like, son of a bitch, I'm bored. So I ordered McDonald's. And I went out and picked it up out in front. I started talking to the people because the hotel was pretty cool at a bar. And they were all just hanging out. And it was a 24-hour bar that like you could literally go help yourself to the fridge. You swipe your key card and you could grab the beer out of it. So it was like a giant mini bar if they weren't there to open it up for you. So I was like, oh yeah, sure. But yeah, I got back. I'm like, oh shit, how did I get in this Uber? Oh boy. It was one of those. It was like an Irish goodbye too. Like it was one of those like it's time to go.
Yeah.
But happens.
Happens to all of us.
Yeah, it does. That event, it happened to pretty much everybody for the most part.
And let me just say this. As someone who has performed more than one Irish goodbye and who knows actually how to do it, there is one person who should be on this podcast but isn't there right now who may be the worst at trying to do an Irish goodbye. Luke does not know how to do an Irish goodbye.
He wants to say goodbye to everybody. It's because he's a good person. He wants to hug everybody. Like,
oh no, he's trying to walk out. He's trying to walk. If you remember in Vegas, he's trying to walk out. We're like, hey, Luke, where are you going? Oh, yeah, I was just going outside to get some air. Oh, okay. Sure you were, Luke.
So, for those of you that are listening to, so Luke came out to Vegas. We had a last. It's almost been a year, by the way. It's been
yes.
It's got like 11 months now.
Yes.
Hurry up, Luke. We're dying at him. Luke.
It was the end of March.
Yeah, it was end of March, and it was early March, wasn't it? Wasn't it like it was mid to early? Okay, mid some March.
It was
March.
during the NCAA tourney, definitely.
And so everybody came out. So it was like you, Yumper, Svo, Luke, Wally, yeah, and which by the way, I need to say this, Wally, and I'm sure it's Wally. I'm sure it's Wally's idea. You guys need to stop going to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse when you guys come to Vegas, because that's a steakhouse you could pretty much get in like 17 cities in America. We're gonna get you guys off that beaten trail a little bit. Next time you guys are here, we're gonna. I do have a. That's the steakhouse that I get gift cards for my students for. It's like getting an Outback card here in Vegas. We're gonna get you guys somewhere else next time. But
yeah. You know the conversation I have with people when I go to like Vegas or I'll be in Phoenix at the end of February. Final weekend of February, I'll be out in Phoenix for some spring training. And I had someone hit me up and go, "Hey, you want to go out to I forgot what steakhouse it was, but it was one of the ones here. I think it might have been Morton's. You want to go to Morton's?" I'm like, "Why would I go to Morton's in Phoenix? There's only two places I'm going to go to eat in Phoenix. Jack in the Box and In-N-Out Burger. That's it.
Sad for me is, you know what I go to when I'm in Phoenix? I go to fucking Portillo's because they won't build one in Vegas. They'll build one in California, Texas, Arizona, Vegas. Nope. Can't even get a beef. I got to go to like Windy City Dogs, which is like basically like a guy that went to Chicago once when he was like 14 and wants to like recreate an Italian beef. So not the same. But yeah, you guys came out, so it was a blast. And you guys now, by the way, you guys know this, and I know it's one of your favorite spots to stay. Bally's is no longer Bally's. It's actually it's the
Horseshoe now.
The Horseshoe now. So yeah, it's actually also where, if you are a big fan of Rocky IV, the food court where we ate is actually where this theater used to be, And it's actually, if you're eating in the food court, which when we all met up that first day, when you
Right
guys
by
all
the sports
got
book.
in, that's literally right. That's where Apollo Creed went up and then died eventually. Of course, spoiler alert. Sorry, guys. It's been 30 some odd years, but that's actually the area. That was where the theater was. That was where they had the boxing matches at Bally's back in the day. So it's kind of funny that how things obviously continue to evolve. Luke is almost back, by the way. And so his interwebs is starting to come on back. It's ridiculous, he says. It's okay. It's okay, Luke. We're reminiscing about that. So this was, but we all got a chance to see Wally Money. Walter showed up while you guys were here.
Walter showed up more than once.
I'm going to say this though: if you've ever gambled with Wally Money, play roulette with him. Just whatever he bet. Just do it. I've never seen anybody do this in my entire life. He was hitting his number like a bunch of times, and he's dropping $25 on each number, and he's hitting his number. So he was like, he was so drunk. Remember, he tried to buy us tickets. He was like, let's go to the boxing match. There's a boxing match. He was trying to get us front row seats for a boxing match. He's like, I want all this money. We're like, Wally, just go put it in the safe in your hotel room.
No, that was in October.
Oh, that was the Bears game. That's right. That was the
Bears game. That's when we were in Atomic, and he started waving the $6,000 around in the bar, telling people, look how much money I won.
Oh, dear Lord. And we had the lady next to us with like a life-size gremlin with her. She had actually had a gremlin doll that was like life-size next to us. We got Wally with his head down in a big bowl of fries. And
do you remember Wally disappeared into the bathroom for like 20 minutes? And we're like, that fucker's sleeping in there, isn't he?
Oh my God. And he's asking the bartender if the curtain matches the drapes. I mean, Lordy Bagordy.
No, do you remember the argument he had with the bartender about Bacardi versus Captain?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's just like almost like it's like arguing water over water. But,
yes.
The next time, that's right. When you guys were out, we went over to the wonderful world of the Golden Spike and the Gold Spike.
Yes.
Wally in Vegas. Look, guys, I have to say this: you don't just go pee anywhere in Vegas. It's not like you can't do an alley in Chicago and just take a little pee right by the dumpster. Wally just decided to go pee right in the corner of this outdoor. It's I guess you want to call it an outdoor ultra lounge where we had we were playing oversized cornhole, and he just decided to go pee in the corner, which is it is what it is.
Hey, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas in more ways than one,
and including his DNA, which is still probably on that wall. But we had a good time. So I think Luke is almost back now. So we'll let Luke get back, but we're gonna dip down that way we don't keep you guys going. We'll cover a couple things while he's out too. Again, we're just kind of like shooting some time real quick. Again, don't leave us. Luke's back. We know you're here for Luke. We know it's okay. We accept that. We also accept that 2 of the 3 members, once he's on here, need to wear sunscreen, and I don't. So, sorry about that. I was out in the sun yesterday for the Bonanza alumni game, so it was kind of fun. We got to hang out with some old players, and so we're going to bring that up a little bit later because Luke and I are going to go over some of the worst excuses we've ever gotten from the athletes that we've coached, and this list is extensive. You think common sense, but people do believe some of the things that they craft in their head. Like, it doesn't sound insane to them, but to the normal person, you're like, what the fuck? So we'll get there in a bit, but I'll go ahead and drop the movie thing real quick. I did. I went and saw Knock at the Cabin on Thursday night. I got to see 80 for Brady on Saturday, so I really cultured myself. M. Night Shyamalan, the film Knock at the Cabin. If you like M. Night Shyamalan films, I would put this in the top third of his better films than bad films. So it's a good film. Dave Bautista is fantastic. The dude has really proven himself to be probably the best actual actor from pro wrestling. I think he's a better actual actor than and there he is, than The Rock. So Luke is back. He just was an excuse to go get another beer. We get it. We understand.
Yes.
But
he had to run out and buy some beer so he could drink it.
He just ran to the store real quick. It's fine. It's around the corner to the local bodega.
Wait. Did he freeze up again?
Right when he's pouring too. Wow.
I know.
Oh. No, I'm here.
Oh, he's there. Oh,
okay. You just froze up for a second there.
He's very still.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is the GFY segment of my guest point where I get to say GFY to Xfinity. So
very good. All right. So, Luke, where we left off with you, we were discussing how it might not be as,
and you know what? Well,
the sky is not falling for the White Sox completely. It's not the end of the world, correct? Is that what you were kind of like alluding to, that it's not as bad as everyone might think?
Yeah, I think like Tim Anderson could come back to being a bad.
It's like, yeah, dog. Oh,
You know, and the thing is, his facial expression is priceless right now.
it's a pixelated. What the fuck? Xfinity and beyond.
Yeah.
So,
To infinity and beyond. Exactly.
oh, lordy,
His
lordy.
personal.
There he is. Wait.
Wait.
There was something came through.
Yeah.
There
We
you are.
lost you. There you go. We got you back now. We could see you moving, and you stopped.
It looks
Wait,
like
look. He's like, ah.
it looks like flip phone porn. Wait, there it is. Wait.
You back with us, Luke?
Oh, and the pixels are gone. There we go.
Yes.
Are we good now?
I think we're good.
I think, knock on wood, hopefully.
I mean, we're much better now. Are you there?
Yeah.
Like now, I'm not even like every time, even if he pauses for dramatic purposes, now I'm not sure if he's frozen or if he's. Just
I know.
pausing.
How about it?
Wait, who ate these edibles? Wait, who did this? Wait, hold on a second here. Did your modem eat my edibles? There we go. He's the frustration.
Right.
We jumped
Yeah.
to the frustration pose right there. We gotcha. You're there.
And you're frozen.
Is frozen again? Oh no.
Oh, no.
Let it go. Let it go. Wrong frozen. Yeah, I know, right? If he's literally he's like, yeah, he really didn't want to come on today. He's been
Yeah, fathers, oh, you're right. It is an amazing performance if he's trolling.
it'd be fantastic. We'll get him back. We'll get this. Hold on. I'm gonna do this. See if I can do something here.
And while Fidz is working on that, he is also running a contest to pick the Oscars against him. So you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. While we're getting through the while we're buffering, we're doing a little contest. It's a beat Fids at the Oscars. The Oscars are March 12th, I believe.
Yes.
And we've shared a little contest. But if you can guess, whoever has the most correct answers for predictions for the Oscars, we're going to send you a cool little gift package that's going to include probably an AMC gift card, some Tainted Glove merch, among other things. And so if you check out we'll have it pinned to our profile. But yeah, just we're going to see if you can beat me. And obviously you probably will beat me because but I have continued on. I'm only down to 7 more films that have been nominated for Oscars in any way, shape, or form that I have not seen yet. So I'm getting close. Knocked Tar out Friday night, for example. And I kind of regret using part of my Friday night to do that. But it was not as good as I thought it would be. But anyway, so that's a contest. We're going to post that. We'll keep pushing that. Again, a lot of time. See as many movies as possible before you do this. Then you can come in and try and predict who's going to. But whoever has the highest score, we're going to send you guys a really cool gift pack. We're going to send you to see a movie. We're going to, we're going to send you some cool Tainted Glove merch, and we'll have a little fun with it. But check it out.
And also,
so often.
Yeah. And also, as Luke is frozen again, on the night of the Oscars, March 12th, I believe, is Oscar night.
Uh-huh.
There will be, I have heard rumors about a possible watch party for the Oscars.
Oh, and it doesn't include Will
Stay
Smith
tuned.
slapping someone. By the way, last year's Oscars, we were all together for the Oscars.
That's right.
Here in Vegas when Will Smith slapped.
That's right. Because we started getting tweets from people, and we're like, "What the hell just happened?"
Yeah, we were at Hennessy's actually playing our movie trivia game.
Yes,
Yumper likes to tell everybody,
Yes.
and Mom, I had no help in, but it was just because I didn't have to. Like, I mean, my God, but we could go.
Tell them why you needed no help.
What? Because Pete took care of it. Like I didn't even have to. And but you're gonna hear Svo and Yumper say they were too drunk. I mean, I'll tell you right now. I mean, you guys ask yourself this. I mean, when is your movie IQ most fluid? When you're sober or when you're drunk? Come on, when you most? Wasn't it the 6 degrees of separation?
It
was the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon with movies. Yeah.
Yes, but wasn't it like John Wayne that we won on or something like that?
Oh yeah. They were struggling.
Yeah.
But we're gonna send. Oh, there's Yumper. There he is. Look at Yumper just making shit up. Just like I endorsed I'm the one that chose the game that they use that we all use the Yelp or the
Luke,
Amazon
blink twice. Oh, he's gone
he's
again.
frozen again. Yeah, yep. You could have handled it yourself, but you didn't.
Yes.
Your partner said he couldn't do it, so you just quit. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I didn't have to quit. My partner, even if my partner would have quit, I wouldn't have quit. There's no quit. There's no quit. There's no quitting team. There's just a T and an I.
Yeah.
But there's no I in team.
There's a me. There's a me in team.
It's true. It's true. There it is. Is he there? Or is he
up? He's spinning.
Oh, no, he's in like frozen poop mode. That's the worst thing is when
there he is.
There he is. All right.
Are you good?
Whew. I don't fucking know at this point. every time we fucking bring up the White Sox, my internet fucking disconnects.
I think it's the White Sox doing it so they don't get bad pub.
It's Kenny Williams.
It's
Yes.
fucking scam.
Let's see here.
Did I freeze again?
Yes, for a couple
Here,
seconds. And you froze again. This is classic stuff.
Well, the only thing I can really fix is it won't even let me fix that. Dang it. I'm trying to so maybe edit mic settings. Nope, that's just noise cancellation.
Yeah.
Maybe go lower def. Maybe are you at high def? It's
yeah. All right, cool. Wait. We see something. You're moving.
There we go.
I see blinking.
I see here. There's movement.
Yeah, I see blinking.
Playing Pop a Shot. There it is.
Got your arms up?
Yeah. Now can you talk?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Oh yeah. Okay.
Fucking hell.
All right. Maybe it was just catching up. That's all.
Yeah, that's all.
I mean, oh shit.
There he goes. There he goes again.
Oh, wow, he's there.
Yeah, there he is.
Worst case scenario, too. This is what poor Mitchie the kid. He's in Missouri, and his internet was acting funky on last Wednesday on Pinwheels and Ivy. He used his phone, and he used that same link on the phone, and he just used his regular phone service.
Yeah,
and it actually worked better than his internet.
Yeah.
Or you can call in too, and we don't have to put your video on. We can do that. I can put a fake picture up. It'll probably be Jordan Miller, but
no, I think Jackie has a great idea. If Luke's frozen face doesn't end up on Tainted Glove merch, then GFY. Jackie, you're 100% right.
I'm actually screenshotting this frozen pixelated shot. Frozen hand Luke is now. I was able to change his bio.
So, but
we're gonna get this figured out. But
yeah, we're gonna get this figured out. But we'll still keep going. But getting to Luke's point, Luke, like I said, Luke is not wrong. Things can't, the situation the White Sox are in, they can all, there is a chance that all of them work out. You have to accept that. But as I've said, my issue with it is you're placing too much chance on all of these things working out. I know you can't stop laughing at Luke.
Sorry,
but
Yumper.
It's just
sorry, Yumper.
What the hell was that?
Yumper posted the face you make when someone tells you they hate PB&J. It's a normal pick of Luke from tonight, but then Baloney just dropped. Every time I see my wife come out of the shower and it's the bear claw Luke screenshot, the pixelated bear claw. It kills me. Like I'm gonna have to share the screen with this. This is too good of content. Like I have to share this. This is so well done, bro. So well done. Let's see here. Screen.
Oh, poor Luke. Poor
Screen
Luke.
One, screen two.
But and to your point, while you're pulling that up, Luke is a very positive person. I think his positivity may be tested today, obviously, but he is a very positive person, and he's trying to look on the bright side of the White Sox situation. Because let's face it, this is it for them. There's a lot of free agents at the end of this season. It's shit or get off the pot time.
Yep.
And and to be honest with you, Father Zoe, you're right. He's definitely punching some air right now. But to be honest with you, the White Sox need to start fast. They need to be at the trade deadline. What would you say? They need to be either in first place or like a game or two behind. Because I think if they're more than like 2 games back, they're going to start selling off pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Just because from a business perspective, you have to. And the first piece that they're probably going to sell off is Lucas Giolito. Because I don't know how everyone else feels, but to me, he's made it clear he's not re-signing with the White Sox. They're not going to pay him what he wants. I mean, they argued over, was it $50,000 for God's sakes last year. So I just see they have to jump out quick. And they need to be in first place or like a game or two behind. I think if they're more than like, let's say 3 games back, you can see the truck starting to back up.
There it is. There it is. Me, every time I see my wife come out of the shower.
Yes.
Incredible. Incredible.
And yes, to Shane Spagnola's comment, I know he wanted to punch Wally for getting him the wrong Hamilton jersey. So what happened was Wally went to the White Sox garage sale and saw a Hamilton jersey. So he texted Luke and said, "Hey, you want me to pick you up this Hamilton jersey?" And Luke said, "Yeah, please do." And it was like $50 or something. It wasn't an expensive jersey. So then Wally gives it to Luke, and Luke is like, "This isn't a Billy Hamilton jersey. It was an Ian Hamilton jersey. That's number 1."
Wally.
Yeah. Billy Hamilton played for the White Sox in 2021. And if you know anything about jerseys, especially current day jerseys, on the tags, they have the player's name and the year and what set it is. The Ian Hamilton jersey that he purchased was from 2020. Billy Hamilton didn't play with the White Sox until 2021. So if he would have looked at the tags on the jersey, he would have seen 2020, and that would have been a clue that, yeah, no, this isn't Billy Hamilton. And, of course, Billy Hamilton wore number 0. I want to say Ian Hamilton's jersey was like number 52. Another big red flag. And, Billy Hamilton is a smallish guy.
We're just to leave this here so he's with us in spirit.
Yes, exactly. Billy Hamilton is a smallish guy. And this jersey was way too big to fit Billy Hamilton. So Luke, finding the humor in this and the positivity out of it, wrote a great blog just explaining the whole scenario, which is funny as hell. And Wally showed me the jersey after the blog came out. I go, Wally, the year's on there too. Hamilton wasn't with the White Sox in 2020. Billy Hamilton wasn't with the White Sox in 2020. Oh, yeah, I missed that too.
Boy.
But
yeah, this is killing me right now with the picture of Luke. And Luke feels terrible right now, and he's rebooting again. He's going to try and get it again. It sucks. Like, we know how this feels.
Oh yes, Jack. Yes, you're right. I pictured. No, Jack puts the comment. I picture Luke like this in the driver's ed car. Back when I did driver's ed, it was that look, and I sang the song "I Can't Drive 55" by Sammy Hagar, and I got in a little bit of trouble for that.
I had Donald Lovelace. The same driver's ed teacher that I had was the same one my dad had. That's crazy, right?
Oh, geez.
Lake Park. Welcome to Lake Park.
I had Mr. Ferguson for driver's ed, who was a very mean person. Mr. Ray Ferguson. That was his name. Hated everybody.
Works. Trying to get this so that it's not just to us. Oh no, that's not good. That's not.
You had it before.
Yeah, that one works. We'll just keep it at that.
Yeah, that one works. Leave that one. Yeah.
Keep hands in 10 and 2. You're right, Brian. You got to put those hands in 10 and 2.
I'd say more 9 and 3.
Velocitation is a term that I learned, and I never hear anybody use it ever again. But it's like that when you get off the freeway, right, and you've been driving like 70, and then you're driving 25, and you don't know the difference between. You feel like you're driving like 25, but it's really you're going like 50. I remember that term always stuck to me. Velocitation.
Yeah, and so Shane Spagnola talks about his driver's ed teacher driving to his house, pick up mail, and then to the liquor store. I had a driver's ed teacher. I went to Gage Park High School, which, for those who are familiar with Chicago, is at 5600 South Rockwell. I had a driver's ed teacher. Me and another student, a guy named Ali Zayed. He made us drive. I drove to Comiskey Park so he could buy White Sox tickets, and then Ali drove him back to the school. So we were his chauffeur for the day so he could go buy White Sox tickets, which we thought was cool, to be honest with you. Team sucked back then, but we thought it was cool.
Wow. So we're going to keep driving this train
Yes,
a little bit
this
forward.
car
Right
wreck,
now. So
yeah.
we're going to save a couple. We're obviously going to save some of these topics for when we get Luke back.
Right.
But for us right now, this is it's also today is the Pro Bowl
Yes.
here in Vegas, so it's it's been a little bit of a to do this weekend here. They can't give away tickets, by the way, to the Pro Bowl. This new format sucks, and so there's not a lot of they were literally trying to basically give us as teachers here, it's $25. Come on, we need to sell these tickets. So not doing so well this week, but the Super Bowl is upon us now. If it's Pro Bowl season, I'd love to. Hopefully Luke will be back for this.
Yes.
As we kind of jump into this, because a lot of this is a little bit more Luke centric anyway. But Super Bowl's next week. We've got Chiefs, we got Eagles. We're sitting at our first. These prop bets are all starting to pop out too. So we're starting to see right now. Eagles, I think, are sitting at minus 1.5 points right now. They're getting about 70% of the public betting right now too, as well. So if you're someone that goes against the general public, you're going to want to throw down plus 1.5 on the Chiefs. But here we go. I heard the sound. I
heard it too.
There we go. We can remove that, and there we go. Yes.
Wow, your picture looks a lot better. Are you on your phone?
I'm on my fucking phone because what else am I going to do at that point until this shit gets figured out?
Yeah.
So
This
nice hoodie, by the way.
This is slide into our DMs video style.
Yes.
I like it.
Yes.
So can we?
Hey, if you're on your phone, make sure there's no dick pics to sports writers, okay?
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on that one.
Or just in anybody's DMs.
Yeah.
So all right, good. We'll get you back now. And it looks like everything, you look clear.
Yes, you're a lot better. The picture's a lot better.
So you guys, let's jump back into where you were at, Luke. Let's get back to the White Sox stuff. We can taper this back in. Everyone's trying. The numbers are going back up on the stream. You're right, Senior Sox. We went from having we had like 20 people watching us, and then Luke froze up.
Wait,
and then it went down to 4, and now he's dipped to black. This is the same.
There he is.
Sopranos ended. It was like the Sopranos ending.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden Luke went to black, and I'm like, God. Not again, not the guy in the members only jacket. But all right, so Luke, let's get back to where we were really. It's just we took a long circle. We took the NASCAR route, right? We just did just a couple laps. But White Sox, it's not the end of the world, right? What do you think? Like, there's positivity, right?
I mean, I think Tim Anderson's going to bounce back, and he's going to have a fucking career year, which is what they're banking on. But I kind of believe that. The thing I'm disappointed in is that, they didn't add like all these other teams are adding. Like, hey, these guys can have bounce back years, and you could add people to the equation, make this team better while they have bounce back years, instead of having the same roster that in the 2021 playoffs lost in the first round to the Astros. We're trying to be a World Series championship team. Not a division winning team year in, year out. So that's why you got to add to the roster. But I think a lot of these guys are going to have bounce back seasons. I think Eloy is going to knock the piss out of the ball as long as he stays healthy and doesn't think he's a right fielder. I think Luis Roberts going to be healthy this whole year. And I think the only guy I'm down on, and I hate to say it because I was like a big fan of him the whole time, is Moncada. I don't know what the fuck his problem is. I don't know what his fucking deal is. I can't stand the fact that he is this, all of a sudden he's this, like last year and the year before, he's like this prima donna. It does not seem to mesh with what's going on. Like, he got his money. I don't know what the fucking deal is with him, but I feel optimistic still about this team and what they have. I just wish they would have added more instead of being a team that they should be in the division hunt at the trade deadline, looking to add to the roster. They could have done this now to be a complete team instead of saying, "Hey, we're in it at the deadline. Now let's add." Like, come on, like look at what all these other teams are doing. They're adding now because they don't want to wait until the deadline to see where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
we have some conspiracy theories on the timeline, by the way, just so we're aware that there's.
Well, we do know to answer part of this. We do know MSS and Johnny live very close to each other, so there might be something to that MSS Johnny connection.
Yeah, but not with Luke. I've been in the same.
Not with Luke.
I've been in the same. I've been right next to each other, actually. In fact, when there's a very different style. Luke is more of is more bluegrass, and my Sock Summer is more Creed. So
yes.
Scott Staffy.
But to Luke's point, I don't disagree with anything you've said. Not a single thing I disagree with. My whole contention is, and you brought this up with just now too, is it is the White Sox hope for luck model, not make your luck. Oh, let's hope we're in contention and we'll add at the deadline. Remember, but this is what infuriates me about Rick Hahn so much. He misreads the market so badly. It's not even funny anymore. I mean, I'll give you 4 examples of where he misread the market. 1, Machado. Everyone and their mother knew Machado wanted $300 million. So the White Sox went there with a $250 million offer and all these incentives and all this other crap. That's number 1. Number 2 was right before the lockout. Remember how, we don't expect anyone to sign any contracts. We don't expect much activity before the lockout. And what happened? All these players locked in on contracts right up until the day the lockout started. And Hahn came out and said he misread that. Number 3, the trade deadline last year where they did nothing. And part of the reason is he won't admit this, but it's because that continual pipeline of talent that he promised is non-existent. And then 4, the latest one, the trade market is going to be more fruitful in the offseason. How'd that turn out? What people are what teams are doing, and this is not rocket science. What I'm about to say is teams are realizing that it's basically the players are the haves and have-nots. You have the high-price mega talents, use Harper, use Trout, whoever you want. But you can't have a team full of those. So what you need is to have the controllable players on rookie contracts, for lack of a better way to put it, and supplement them, bolt on the high-price super talent to make your roster. So teams are very reluctant to give up that young, cheap, controllable talent because if they have that young, cheap, controllable talent, they can go get a Bryce Harper or sign a Verlander or Scherzer or whoever it may be. And that's what the White Sox just don't get. And one more thing I'm going to say about the White Sox. Rick Hahn talked about regaining trust. We need to regain the trust of the fans. And he also mentioned they want to be a destination for premium talent. Looks like he's doing something. And they want to be a destination for premium talent.
Like we're watching Cloverfield.
How?
Sorry. I saw when we kept switching the aspect ratio.
They want to be.
Got it. It looks good. By the way, just so you know, it looks.
They want to be a destination. Yeah. Yeah. They want to be a destination for premium talent. How the hell can you be a destination for premium talent if the largest contract you've ever given out is $75 million? How? Those two just don't work. Those two things just don't work together.
I mean, there's so much wrong with the organization, but the problem, the thing that I like, it's easy. It's really easy at this point for all Sox fans to be angry and be pessimistic. That's a good, easy thing to do. That really is.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we're going to be I'm still excited for the season. I'm still excited for the White Sox baseball. I think that they're still going to have a very fun, exciting year. I don't think that it's a team that right now is built to win a World Series. They're built to win a division, and then hey, let's get into the playoffs because it's a crapshoot. Instead of saying we could build a roster to be a juggernaut with what we have. So, I mean,
Yes.
I'm excited. I think they could still win the division. I don't know how far they'll go in the playoffs. I think we're back to 2021 with our current roster, the way it is. You got to add. You got to do some additions somehow. You got to find a way to do it. So,
Yep. And again, I'm excited for the season too, but I'm not excited for the product on the field per se. I'll be honest, I'm excited just to hang out with, with everyone in the 108. And, that's really my driving force this year because I am not expecting a lot. I hope I am wrong. And I will be the first one to come on here and say, you know what? I was wrong. But I just don't see. I just don't see much to be positive of because to your point, this team is not built to win the World Series. Remember, it was having multiple parades, multiple championships. I don't see that anywhere.
And I think you're in the majority, and there's nothing wrong with that. I've had a lot of questions about this organization, and I really am down on everything that they've done and fucked up like over and over and over again. I'm just trying there's got to be something. There's got to be something. There's got to be something good that's going to happen from all this fucking. They have too much fucking talent to fuck this up over and over and over again. Like. Lucas Giolito was fucking 30 pounds overweight last year. Like, there's so much that they fucked up. Like, Lucas Giolito tried to become Lance Lynn. You're not Lance Lynn. You're Lucas Giolito. Come on. Like,
Lucas Giolito tried to do the, what's his name from the Mets? Noah Syndergaard program. Syndergaard, if you remember, bulked up because he wanted to throw the ball harder than anyone else ever did. And that I would argue that still to this day affects him.
It's fair. It's fair. I mean, look, and the thing too, and Luke, you're actually right, man. The law of averages, I mean, pretty much make it, there's no chance that shit will go so sour as it went for the White Sox across the board last year with injuries and with weird drama. And I mean, God, let's be honest. It started with the Tim Anderson stuff. If anything, look at today, that same Tim Anderson drama from basically a year ago that kicked off the whole weird year. Today was didn't Tim Anderson's wife even say new love? Was it almost like a love fest with his child with somebody else? And it's whatever. It's fuck it, let's rock. That's a totally polar opposite of last year. Last year started with some drama and things just kept going weird. And you've got guys that are trying, Giolito bulked up because he wants to add some more length muscles. And, you've got Eloy getting hurt doing God knows what.
Lance Lynn getting hurt in the final start of spring training.
Right. Just things that and again, you've got decisions that, questionable moves where, let's be honest, as much as we could say things about Tony La Russa, I don't think there's any strategy in the world where you take a guy that's down 0-2 an account and you fucking intentionally walk him. That's the dumbest damn thing I've ever heard in my entire life. That one will never be okay. Never. No matter what the numbers say, you got a guy 0-2, you got a guy in a hole. Finish the job, for God's sakes. And so things like that happen too. And I think one begets the other. And I just don't think that you can't have as much of a comedy of errors 2 years in a row. The law of averages if it does, I will think word curse because it's supernatural if that happens, because it mathematically doesn't make any sense that it could go so soft and so south so fast again. But you got guys that could also throw up.
Well, you could argue it's already. Yeah. But you could also argue it is already going that way because you have, unfortunately, what happened to Liam Hendricks. That's number one. And then, the thing that's been talked to death, the Clevenger thing, is number two. And, I'm not going to, I don't want anyone to opine on whether they think he's guilty or innocent. My take on Clevenger is very simple. I do not want that guy in the locker room, period. And it has nothing to, I don't want the distraction in the locker room because damn well it's going to be, so Lucas, What do you think of Clevenger? What does your wife think of Clevenger? Get all that shit out. Get it out now. But unfortunately, based on the way, if I read correctly, based on the way MLB's the players agreement is, they can't do anything to them until there's a resolution of the investigation. You know, and financially, I know this sounds dumb to say it this way. Financially, it's from a financial standpoint, it's smarter for them to keep him and put him on executive or what is it, administrative leave or whatever the hell it is, and wait for a decision, because if they suspend him, the Sox don't have to pay him, and then once his suspension is up, they can say, all right, we're going to bite the bullet, and instead of losing $12 million, we lose 8 or 4 or whatever it is, because even if he's suspended this entire season, they're probably going to have to pay that $4 million buyout next year.
Well, if you saw what happened with Bauer
got 22.
So there's precedent too for the White Sox, and we talked about it too, I think, before, maybe in just text or whatever. But the White Sox have to do this right too.
Yes.
It's not about just cutting Clevenger. They need to protect. It could cost them financially a lot more if they don't do it the right way and gather all their evidence and do it properly through the laws of, the player agreement with the CBA.
Right.
They have to follow that, because they will be liable, and you want to make sure that you're careful, and you want them to lose only $8 million by just basically being able to cut them, not $25 million in a wrongful termination.
Right.
So you've got to deal with that kind of stuff as well. But it's hard. You think it's I mean, the Clevenger stuff aside, I still think that you're hard pressed to see so much go wrong all at once. It's the perfect storm. And those things might come one every 27 years kind of thing. And the ability and the talent in that clubhouse is undeniable. And it's going to this team as it stands today should win the AL Central is talent wise. And can they put it all together? Can they do everything as a cohesive unit? Can they make the right decisions at the right time, get the timely knocks, etc.? If they do that, and odds are they will, this is gonna be like those. Last season everyone came in so optimistic. This one everyone's coming in kind of a little bit more. What's the word I'm trying to think of? Wary,
skeptical,
yeah, and skeptical is fine, because now they can earn it. There's not that they always. It's an old Joe Madden thing. Don't let the pressure outweigh the pleasure. Don't you've got that. Don't over analysis is paralysis. You've got all these types of things, but the expectation. It can ruin the fun. It could ruin the fun of things. This is a coach too, Luke. If you have expectation compared to, what there's a difference between expectation and what you expect, I think. And I think when you have too high of expectations, you set people up to fail. And as a coach, you tell your athletes, you're not trying to break Lannister's, a 4-minute mile. Hey, bud, you're trying to maybe chunk down your goals. Get here. Yeah. And expectations can be an albatross that are very hard to overcome, just for any athlete in general, but no matter what level it is. And so,
that's the thing. Like the White Sox, like in 2000, there was no expectation on that team. They fucking rolled and won 90 games, right, in 2000, and then 95.
95, I think, in 2000.
It was 95 in 2000, and then 99 in 2005. There's no expectations on either of those.
Yes,
teams.
Correct.
And then this White Sox roster has had all the expectations to fucking just, we're gonna ball. I think they got a little bit cocky after 2021, and then 2022 happened. Regardless of fucking Tony fucking up all the shit he fucked up in the clubhouse, there's some arrogance like that. It was just gonna happen, like. And that happens in sports. Like, there's high expectations. You get a little cocky. You get a little arrogant. And the next thing you know, hey, we've got some problems here. And we're not healthy. And then, it's just going to work out because we're good. You've got to grind out. And I think the other thing, and this is the big thing that's going to help the White Sox, is their strength and conditioning staff is changed. The guy in charge is it's a new guy up top. So the rest of their strength and conditioning staff is the same, but the guy in charge of the strength and conditioning is a totally different guy. So he's going to change things and do things modernized and do things the right way to ways that current athletes should be conditioned and built.
And
I mean,
you have talked about this the last couple seasons, during different conversations throughout the season in the seats. You have hit on the strength and conditioning, and you were sitting there saying stuff to me that I'm just sitting there going, I have no clue what you're talking about, dude.
Didn't his son come at you, Luke?
He did not come at me.
No.
Oh,
somebody.
Yeah, somebody else.
Yeah.
No, but that was I think I mentioned that. It was Alec Thomas's dad.
Yes.
Was the guy in charge. And then Alec Thomas was like, you don't know what you're talking about, but he said it in emoji form. It was like, shut the fuck up. Like, these guys are running to first base and having constant injuries as professional athletes. That shouldn't happen. You're known for your speed. If you have speed, you shouldn't have a fucking problem sprinting to first base and knowing how to run the bases without getting injured. Like, the freak injuries are one thing, but when you run to first base and all these guys on the same roster are running to first base and they're all having the same injury problems, probably has something to do with higher up than that. Nobody is working with them with their strength and conditioning, how to sprint, how to run efficiently, what to do other than just play baseball. Hey, there's more to baseball than just fucking going through all your practices. You got to fucking know. You got to be conditioned. You got to be in shape still.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just think, oh, I'm an athlete, I'll be good. Like, why do football players go out for track? Because they want to get faster, but they don't want to just get faster. They want to know how to sprint effectively. They want to know how to run properly when they're on the football field. Not just, hey, I'm fast, I can show off my raw ability. No, I want to know how to run and sprint properly. I don't think the White Sox have been doing any of that. So this guy up top should hopefully fix a lot of these problems that would prevent a lot of these injury issues.
And it's one thing to talk about structural injuries, like you talk freak injuries, like morons trying to catch a ball over the wall and dislocating their elbow or popping their shoulder out like morons.
Mm-hmm.
That's different. Soft tissue, if it keeps coming up as soft tissue, that is actually on the training staff. Structural injuries, fractures, broken fingers, those sprained ankles, that has nothing to do. That's bad luck. That's just the game. But when you're having soft tissue pulling, a lot of pulls and a lot of like strains, something's not getting done properly. And that's something actually that I'm curious. I'll put in a little, I'll see with McDougal if anything's changed as far as communication from the organization as a whole, being in the organization, as far as what they're doing in the offseason. Because I know a lot of these teams, there's not a lot of communication between the organization and these players. They kind of let them do what they want to do. There's no like, oh, we're all going to follow this plan this offseason. Everybody's got like their own person. And so that also is an issue. And perhaps the White Sox, maybe they put the kibosh down and they say, hey, we're all doing this program organizational plan together. Let's go. Put your that guy you've been working with since you were 17 that's been making hand over fist. You can still pay him, but we're going to do this as an organization together because this has been an issue. And if they were to do that, I think it would help, obviously. But it's hard because these guys have their own people. They go home to their hometowns and they go to their specialists.
Well,
and their specialists, they've got all the newfangled stuff. I mean, really, if you're not going to Driveline, you're really not doing anything in the first place. But
well, and also let me add this: part of the issue, don't forget the World Baseball Classic is this year. So, to me, having several of your players out when you're trying to institute this new program is not exactly optimal either. Because you get them in for a week or two, and then, Anderson's leaving, Lynn is leaving, Moncada, Robert, Eloy, I think, is going too.
I don't know why Moncada is going to be playing for Team Cuba. He's got no value to that fucking team, though. Just fucking worried about at baseball. Fucking, like, what's he going to do for Team Cuba? Like, I'm sure there's some other fucking third baseman right now that could fucking play third base for Team Cuba instead of Moncada. Like, I'm so down on him, and I love Moncada. Like, that was my guy. I was like all amped up in that trade. I was defending him for years, but this year I'm fucking out. I can't do it anymore. I couldn't. Like, I gave him every chance the last 2 to 3 years. I can't do it anymore until he fucking does it. Like, he's got to show like what he did in 2020 and 2021. Like, get back to that guy that was an above average third baseman with that WAR. Like,
But I have to ask one question about Moncada. I really do. Is he one of the people that they talk about with COVID damage?
could be.
Because has not seemed to be the same since he got COVID. Remember the incident in Cleveland in 2020 where they surrounded him in the dugout because he couldn't breathe after he sprinted from first to home. So I don't know if we're talking about someone who was permanently damaged by COVID, or is it a lack of not caring, or could it be all the above?
I think there's a lot. There's all the above. There's a lack of not caring. Like, there's a lack of not caring. There's a COVID damage. There's, I got my money. I'm good. Hey, I don't like, baseball is like his 5th or 6th most important thing in his life compared to everybody else. So he
sure
just
ain't his kids. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, did I say that out loud?
I mean, he doesn't give he like the thing he's getting paid to do and getting all those millions of dollars. He does not seem to really like. He wants to win. He wants to compete. He wants to do well. But I don't think it's something that he's like, oh.
I think you said it well. He wants to compete. He wants to do well, but he doesn't want to do the work that's associated with competing and doing well.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, he could be real like any athlete who's been playing a sport their entire career. He may be hitting a wall with burnout. Just is like going through the motions. He could just be saying, "Hey, I've been doing this my entire life since I was a kid. I'm 26 years old now. I just am not feeling it." But he's getting paid all the money to do it, so he's gonna still play every day because he's getting paid. That's his job.
Mm-hmm.
But as a fan, you're like, well, fuck this guy. Like, he's terrible. Like, he's like, I don't know. It's so hard to know what's going through a pro athlete's head on a day-to-day basis.
Yes. Yeah.
And
It really is.
he angers me so much because I want him to do so well, but then it's like, okay, what's going on in his head? Like, where is he at mentally? Like, nobody knows. It's easy. Right. It's easy to rag on him and hate him, which I fucking do right now. I fucking hate Moncada. But then, like, the other side of my brain says, well, what's actually going on in his brain? Like, what's happening? Like, why is he doing this? What's causing this? Is he fucking like, is he all in? Or is he like, hey, I'm getting paid to do this as a job, but I don't really want to do this anymore, but I have to because I got millions of dollars and it's
you know, it's also reasonable to ask though too, did he hit his ceiling? I mean,
yes. Yeah, that's a perfectly reasonable question.
That did he, is this the downturn? Is this the falling action? I don't think it is, but I do think that, like you said, it's really hard with these guys, these pros, because they could. It's their off season is their off season. We saw with Giolito, like sometimes they try and reinvent themselves and they overcorrect something they shouldn't have had corrected in the first place. And it once you get into the season, all that prep work you put in the off season, it's application, and it's really difficult to like change the course correct, if you will, after you've worked months on end on a focused approach, and then now it's not working. Now you've got to course correct mid-season. It's really hard midstream. It's kind of like when you get a nagging injury the same way. Like you're never going to be able to get past that. You never want to get a nagging injury in the first 2 months of the season, because that's just a long season now for you, because it's never going away. Same when you have maybe this approach, you thought it was going to be a great approach, and whatever team you were working with this offseason, whatever, if you're hitting with an instructor or whatever, you're hitting your swing guy or whatever, and then it doesn't work and you're like, oh shit. Well, it's hard to backtrack. It's hard to pull back fundamentals that you've now spent months with muscle memory retraining something that you just trained in for months at a time. So that's a hard part about what these guys do too. And that's with Moncada. I think with Giolito it's the same thing too. I think you're going to see a much better Gio, but I think perhaps at least maybe he got the right people in his ear with the right tweaks this offseason, or again, potentially reasonably, maybe he just hit a wall. And look, I mean, look, these are some good. Dump on the Ump just throws these up here. Look at his, his OPS plus by seasons. It looks like he alternates. He goes low, high, low, high, low, high, low. If you follow the pattern, he's gonna have like it looks like a 125 or so OPS plus this season. So maybe his good seasons are then followed by bad seasons, and those bad seasons motivate him again, and then he bounces back. And that's something that's an unfortunate pattern, but at least it's predictable.
It's true.
Well, you mentioned Giolito. He had an injury in the opening day start last year, and that could be another reason maybe that bothered him the entire season. He added on a lot of weight in the offseason. Then he had an injury opening day, nagging injury on and off the whole year. And then he can't correct anything midseason, like you're saying. So maybe this offseason he said, I got to get my shit together. This isn't going to just happen for us. We got to really lock down and get it going.
Yeah.
And
plus Giolito's in a contract year.
Yep.
Well, TA's looking for an extension because if Dansby Swanson is getting all that money from the Cubs, why the fuck can't Tim Anderson get that same contract? He should get the exact same contract as Dansby Swanson. Legitimately, you look at their numbers side by side. Tim Anderson is Dansby Swanson. Give Tim Anderson that contract. That's what TA's looking at right now is.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like these shortstops are getting paid. I'm on the White Sox, but I want to stay on the White Sox. But give me what Dansby Swanson is getting paid because I have the identical numbers to him through his career. So,
but does TA want to stay?
If you do measure if you're only going by 2022, TA had actually, as far as shortstops are concerned, even in the city of Chicago, he had the inferior numbers. So he needs to show that he's normal, Tim. Last year was not him. And I think that contract-wise, if he wants to get that Swanson money, which I think that when he is hitting and he's doing what he does, he's way worth it. But I think that the White Sox can say, hey, what have you done for me lately? I need a 2023, even a good half of 2023. Then you can, around the All-Star break, then you can get that extension pushed in and get that done. So
I think he's motivated for that specific reason too. It's essentially a contract year for TA to show all right, rip up my contract. Give me that contract. I'll be your first $100 million guy. If you're fucking paying Andrew Benintendi $75 million, you could give me one of the best shortstops in the league a real contract. And if they say no, then he could say, fucking trade me then.
And to your point, and to your point, Luke, if I'm going back to Rick Hahn's words, if you want to regain the trust of the fans, if TA does have a good first half, that's a step you take to do that.
Yeah. Like they did with Lance Lynn. They did that with Lance Lynn mid-season.
Yep.
Don't wait until the offseason.
Yes. Give yourself some good publicity,
So with that, let's segue a little bit too. Yeah. So if the White Sox have a rough season, one potential option for coping is a beverage that first was documented in 1677, referred to as for its strength. And the name porter was actually first used in 1721, but the actual word stout is a very popular variety of the porter, usually 7 to 8% alcohol by volume. A stout porter has been one of the more popular beer choices. And this month, with Brewhand Luke joining us, with this month being February, it is also the stout month, and we are coming to the end of dry January. Now we're into floody February, if you will. So we want to jump a little bit into the Super Bowl and your choices for what are you going to, first off, obviously what stouts are you drinking right now, Luke? And then, if you were to recommend some Super Bowl beer choices, what do you think people should cuddle up on the couch or wherever they're at to watch the Chiefs and the Eagles?
Okay, I'm back, by the way. I got I'm back to the real thing here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I don't have to hold my fucking phone in my hand. My arm was getting tired. Like it's usually my right forearm. It was my left forearm. I'm not used to that.
Sometimes I play the string.
we know you were bored with the last segment. You just decided to pop it on now because this is something you're interested in. You're not fooling anyone.
You have not been practicing the stranger very well.
Yes.
Senor is holding my phone. No, for the Super Bowl, you have to drink, like, you should be drinking like one of your top 5 favorite beers every year, like your go-to beer, like, or get a 6-pack, 12-pack of it. Don't get a case of it because it's a Sunday fucking night, unless you already put in for the day off the next day. I always go with like one of my favorite beers every year. I wouldn't say anyone specifically, but I'm like, okay, am I gonna go with like a Bell's Two Hearted, or am I gonna go with this stout? Am I gonna go with hams? Like I love hams. Like I could drink hams tall boys all day. I don't know what until the day of what I'm going to drink that day, or like the day before. Like, okay, oh yeah, let's have this for the Super Bowl. I would not forecast anything like consistently year in and year out. It's just whatever I'm feeling, but it's always going to be at one of my go-to drinks or beers, year in and out. Like anything from Maplewood is always awesome. Bell's Two Hearted is up there. There's Maplewood here, Fat Pug, by the way, for Stout Month. Drink whatever you enjoy the most for Super Bowl Sunday. Drink what you've been drinking most of the football season. Like, go out on a bang. Like, oh, I don't usually drink this, but I drink this on football Sundays. Like, be consistent with it,
That works. And it sounds like, I mean, again, if you're going to pace yourself, it depends on how you drink beer too. Like some people are nervous drinkers where like you've got to have a can in your hand and then you're just sipping it the whole time because you don't know what to do with your hands. You're like Ricky Bobby. Some people are able to set their beer cans down and sip over the course of time. So like, if you're that nervous Nelly, you've got like 4 to 5%, alcohol. And then if you're someone that can actually not, or I mean, if you're drinking the high alcohol volume and you're a nervous sipper, then you're really going to be goosed. But yeah, it really does depend on how much you drink too. But that sounds to me like you're telling me to drink Montucky all.
Yes,
Super Bowl.
I love Montucky Cold Snacks. That's a great fucking choice.
That feels like a good like Super Bowl because it's not going to knock you on your ass, but it's a sippable over the course of again you can just crush those. I don't want to go Busch Light. They feel like empty calories and you're just basically hydrating. But
no, Montucky Cold Snacks. That was actually one of my first beer reviews I ever did for the 108 was Montucky Cold Snack. Because it was like right after they finally started distributing to Chicago. And that's like, if I'm going to have a go-to crushable drink that's not a craft beer, I'm going Montucky or I'm going hams. Or Coors Light, Senor Socks.
Coors.
I mean, I like Miller Lite. I like Coors Light. I rotate through those two. Like if I'm going to my local bar or like a dive bar, I'm not pounding the craft beers all the time, but like I'm going to get a bucket of Miller Lite. I'm going to get a bucket of Coors Light. I'm not going to get a bucket of hams because a lot of people that I go to the local bar with aren't going to want to drink the hams. It's like you got to have something that everybody's going to like. So, but definitely not Bud Light. No. Sorry.
No.
Sorry, yeah, dog.
And Pete, you're not really a beer drinker in general, right? You're more of a whiskey guy.
No.
What are you putting if you're putting the beers down? What are you putting down?
Well, in honor of Stout Month, it would definitely be some Guinnesses. I do. What's that?
That's the stout.
Yes,
I
Ohio do enjoy
Stout
Guinness.
University. Sorry.
Yes, like the stout. I do enjoy Guinness. I do enjoy a black and tan, to be honest with you. But trying to get a good pour on a black and tan, good luck with that one. Because a lot of places just don't know how to do it. And if I just need like to drink water or something, I'll go with a light beer, whatever's there. But if I had my preference, it would definitely be, some whiskey of some kind over a beer.
He's just a classy. He's a simple guy.
Snobby. Well, no. And when I say whiskey, I'm just talking Jack Daniels most of the time, because to me, Jack Daniels is very crushable.
Why not both? Oh wait,
Yes, exactly. Well, and I will say that I know places in Vegas that have Pappy Van Winkle too.
there's a few.
Yes, most of them have cigars too. Just saying.
Well, you know those places that have Pappy Van Winkle, and then Baloney's friend could sell it instead of letting Baloney share that drink with them.
Yes.
So with the Super Bowl coming to now, we talk a little bit of bevs. Let's talk a little bit about bets too. Eagles are 1.5 point favorites, so those are that's the regular. So think about that. What is the total? I got to pull up these lines here. Actually,
I'm gonna look it up right now. Yeah,
I thought I pulled up the prop bets, but Westgate's hammering here. God, there's so many prop bets too. I love it.
What's the time on the national anthem?
Ooh, yeah, let's get there. Let's go
over. Go over the national anthem, whatever it is. I don't care.
Yeah.
So you got coin toss is it's minus 104 for both. You got the anytime touchdown scorers. Those are all pretty. I mean, Kelsey. I think Kelsey's the only one with actual you got to lay 120 to win 100. He's minus 120. Everyone else is plus. Let's see. What are some fun ones though? Kelsey actually has pretty decent odds to score 3 touchdowns. You would not think
3, but 3. Nobody's scoring 3 touchdowns in the Super Bowl. Nobody.
No, but he's only plus 2,300. He's 23 to 1 to score 3 touchdowns. That's not that's a pretty low.
That's a pretty low number, yeah.
For a 3 touchdown game, that's kind of because it has happened. He's done that a couple times this year, even. But his 2 scores plus 450. It almost feels like that's almost
that could happen. That's real. That.
Both quarterbacks are MVP favorites as usual,
of course.
And the closest one after that is Kelsey at plus 1,200. So it's plus 110 for Hurts, and then plus 130 for Mahomes.
Let's go with my guy, the local guy, Jake Elliott. What's his field goal props and what's his total points prop for Jake Elliott?
All right, let's see here.
60526 or 60525 kid, one of those two.
Why did I lose my page? Oh, there we go. FanDuel. It's kind of funny. So DraftKings is totally illegal here in Nevada, and this place I went to, there's literally a DraftKings office here in town. I'm like, that's weird. That happened today. All right, so we were looking for field goals.
Let's get the field goal prop.
Yeah.
Game prop. Oh, there we go. Special teams props. Here we go. So what were you asking?
Jake Elliott field goals and Jake Elliott total points.
Okay, so
and field goal length too. Do they have the prop on what's going to be the longest one?
So they got over 1.5 attempts.
Okay.
Let's see here. I don't I'm not seeing anything. So first successful distance of longest, team with longest, 55-yarder. Total. It has attempts, but it doesn't have actual. How many did they actually kick? Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
What about one I actually saw pay in Vegas? That is opening kickoff returned for a touchdown.
That one
only happened one time.
Looks like plus 10,000. Devin Hester being the last one that, obviously the only one that's ever done that. Actually,
the only one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because I was in Caesar's Palace when Hester returned that kick, and it was obvious the guy a couple stools down from me had bet that.
Probably dropped some stools too.
And he was. Let me just say, hotel security was around him really quick, and escorted him to the back rooms.
Luke, didn't we see something when we were watching the big dance here at Caesars? Didn't that guy have like that massive win?
That
had
was when I was in town for the
Vegas Bowl, right?
no, it was the college football weekend, conference championship. So we were watching the Big Ten championship game at Caesars, and the guy parlayed Michigan and the over, and he bet like $9,000 on it on a parlay, and he won $35K, and just had the ticket on the table as he was talking to us. Like, man, you guys trust us to like just take the picture of this and like be good with it? He goes, yeah, whatever. Like, it's my ticket. You guys are normal dudes.
Eye in the sky.
Yeah.
Everybody's watching anyway.
Then my buddy yelled out. My one buddy yelled. He was hammered. He just yelled, "You won $35,000 on that ticket?" The guy goes, "Shut the fuck up."
Was it Wally?
No, it was one of my buddies from college. So I just looked at maybe they don't have it on the Vegas lines, but in DraftKings here it has Jake Elliott total kicking points over 7.5 is plus 105.
It's a good bet.
Wow.
So I'm going to get
three
him
field goals. So you're talking
3 field
total
goals.
kicking points, 2 field goals, a couple extra points.
Yeah. I'll bet that.
I like Mahomes over 2 touchdown passes, but man, minus 210. That's I don't know if I'm gonna not into that.
Yeah.
My over under for Jalen Hurts is 1.5, and it's minus 112. That's actually pretty.
What's Kelsey's total receiving yards? I got to do a Travis Kelce bet.
Kelsey's over under 78.5.
Over. What's the odds?
Minus 114. So just slightly over.
Yeah, over. I'm gonna that's my biggest bet of the night.
Travis and Senior Socks, Fids and I have both been to Circa. It's incredible. Highly, highly recommended to go there.
Yeah.
Circa's wild. That's
yes.
I haven't been to the pool part, but I think
the pool's incredible.
I haven't been to the pool part. I've been to the actual hotel and the casino. Like, even that is fucking impressive.
That sportsbook's humongous.
Yes. Yeah. And there's a sports book outside at the pool too.
Yeah. It's insane. It sucks though, is if you just want to look at it, it's like they charge you excessive sums. It's like $25. Just like I just want to walk around and see what it looks like. I'm not swimming.
Yeah.
I'll leave that.
Yeah.
So you got to pay a little bit, unless you're going in or whatever. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's gotta get a bracelet, but that's pretty impressive. Yeah, it's cool. It's really neat, and you get food and drink there too. They've got like you could swim up basically, and they're all down at the bottom, base under the televisions. They've got all the betting little vestibules or whatever, so you can make some bets while you're at the pool, and the games. The screens are clear as day too. It's good to watch.
Even in the middle of the afternoon, the screens are clear as day.
Yep. And I see someone asked about the safety during a game, and that's plus 1040, so plus 1040 that there will be a safety in the game.
Here's one where Vegas just fucking steals money from people, and I hope they lose this bet. I hope Vegas loses this bet. But have you seen the octopus bet? Have you heard about that one?
So where the octopus chooses and it's like never wrong?
Oh.
No. So this is a new thing that you can bet on. It's called the octopus. So it's consecutive. The same player scores a touchdown, then they go for 2, and the same player scores on the 2-point conversion.
Oh, wow.
It's like plus 8,000 or something, and something crazy like that. But like you could get an octopus bet. So like Travis Kelce scores a touchdown.
That would be who I would look at for an octopus bet.
So Kelce scores a touchdown. Chiefs go for 2. Kelce scores again. It has to be on that 2-point conversion. But the bet is, will there be an octopus? Yes or no? Kind of similar to like when you bet on a golf tournament, will there be a hole in one? That's their version of it. Like
that sounds like not a terrible bet though. Like with Kelce, especially in the world.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, I know. Oh yeah, sucker bets. They're a lot of these are sucker bets. Like I like the ones. Here's one. I'll pop this one on. This one's from the other app, but they had it cracked me up because like you can do these again. You can do like a little parlay or whatever out with strange. Oh, I won that bet tonight. Sorry. So like, sorry, I just was looking at the thing. Where is it? Cross sport props. So like you've got like Jalen Hurts, total over rushing, and then Embiid would have a, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know.
Yeah. Like it would be like Embiid would hit like 5 3-pointers.
Oh,
and something like that.
Yeah, you'd have Embiid would have more points, rebounds, and assists than Jalen Hurts would have total rushing yards. Or total points scored from LeBron James versus total pass attempts by Jalen Hurts. Like really random ass. Like what the hell?
There were Michael Jordan bets every year on that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, who would have would John Elway throw for more? You know, what was it? Would John Elway run for more yards than Michael Jordan would score points? Something like that. I remember that being in one Super Bowl.
I kind of like this one a little bit. Nah, maybe I don't actually. I don't trust Pacheco that much.
Oh, I love Pacheco. What's the bet? Give me that one.
Over 99 yards and a Kelsey touchdown.
Oh, you got to parlay them?
Plus 1,400. Yeah, both have to happen. But
I mean, I think the Chiefs are going to win.
I'm with you. Yeah, I think the Chiefs are going to win.
Chiefs are going to win.
I think with the question about Mahomes' ankle, Kelsey becomes a much larger target because I see him being the safety valve for a lot of things.
Yeah.
Especially if Mahomes can't move as well as he usually does.
So you guys are both saying you guys are betting Chiefs?
Chiefs.
Yeah.
I'm definitely betting Chiefs.
I'm betting.
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and bet the Eagles. I'm going to bet the Eagles minus 1.5. I think that they'll be fine.
I cannot bet on a Philadelphia sports team because I think it's not fucking fair that they got to have the Phillies in the fucking World Series. The 76ers are good. Now you get the Eagles in the playoffs. I'm so tired of Philadelphia sports, the worst, meanest, most horrid fans in sports, getting all this fucking success. And what do we get in Chicago? I can't do it. I can't.
All I know is the Eagles made me a ton of money in 2018 when they were playing the Patriots as kind of like dogs. And by the way, 80 for Brady is about that Super Bowl, by the way. I think it is, right? No, it's not.
They're kicking.
No, it's got to be the Carolina Super Bowl, ain't it?
The Falcons Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. The Falcons one? Okay.
Yeah, it's the Falcons one.
I mean, and the Eagles kickers from my hometown, but they already won that Super Bowl a couple of years ago. That was cool. That was fun. I'm over it. I don't need to see it again. Like
Philly fans are rough. I don't hate Philly fans as much as I hate like New York fans. Obviously,
do you know why Philly fans are the way they are?
The weather?
Do you know why they are? Because the whole town smells like a giant fucking urinal. It does.
I mean, they do throw batteries. I mean, they do. I mean,
they boo Santa Claus.
Santa Claus. I
they
mean,
they booed Mike Schmidt his entire career. Like
have their own jail. But
yeah,
it'd be great if the Eagles lost. So then they could say, "Hey, your teams went to the World Series. They both lost. Safe. That's unfortunate for the worst fans in sports." God, you hate to see it. And what's wrong with the Chiefs?
No, there's worse. I got to dispute you. There is a worse fan base than Philadelphia. By far, there's a worse fan base. Boston all fucking day.
That could, yeah.
Ooh. That's sensible.
I mean, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the Philadelphia fans getting all this fucking nice shit over and over again. Like, what the fuck? Like, why can't we get that shit in Chicago? Like, one goddamn year where we get the Bulls, the White Sox, the Bears, the Blackhawks, all fucking just firing on all cylinders. Like, I don't need to see Philadelphia fans going all crazy. Like, the only thing I like about Philadelphia is a TV show that's not even fucking real. That's the only reason why I like Philadelphia.
Oh, come on. You got to like Rocky Balboa.
Oh, yeah, but again, all
not real.
All fake shit. The only good shit about Philadelphia sports is fake shit. Like when Charlie Day met Chase Utley. That was fucking fake.
His uncle doesn't actually have a hand complex either. He doesn't think his hands are too small. It's one of my favorite big gloves. What a great show. That's coming back. We got a new season of that coming up really quick. So another thing I know that grinds your gears, Luke, besides Eagle fans and just really Philly fans in general, is the slander recently that you had to deal with over peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And so what the hell?
Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time.
What happened? Like, so give us the whole rundown of like what how did the PB&J debate, even PB&J gate, start?
So PB&J gate, PB&J, we could call it if you want, if you will.
I like that. Yeah.
So one day I was having a rough day at work, and what's my go-to lunch on a 99% of the time basis? PB&J. And I was really angry at work because, fuck them kids. And
Okay, Michael Jordan.
I feel this. I feel this.
I
I felt
got to my PB&J and I was like, God damn it. I even fucked up my PB&J. There's way too much jelly on this shit. And I've just ruined my mood. Like, I always look forward to the PB&J every fucking day at lunch because it's so good. It hits the spot, gets what you need to get you through the day. Had too much jelly on it. Then we got into a big debate. And then people were critiquing me because the next day I sent a picture of how I made the PB&J. Apparently, everybody doesn't make a PB&J the way I make it, which is the right way to make it. You smother the fucking peanut butter all over the bread, and then you put the jelly right on top. People put it on separate sides of the bread and they smack it together. No.
it just rips the bread. Like the jelly doesn't even squish and spread on the dry bread on the other side. The peanut butter itself is like the glue. It's the epoxy that you mix it together, and then you're able to get like it kind of wears it down a little bit. When I'm doing it on the bread, I always rip through. I always have to use another piece of bread because I'm like, oh fuck, I went right through it.
So
Right on the
you got to put the jelly on the actual peanut butter and spread it out. And like everybody else is like, no, you put the jelly on the separate side of the bread. I'm like, no. Then you're gonna have jelly overflow. It's gonna fall right onto your kitchen counter. All that jelly that you could have had on your bread now is on the fucking counter and it's no good. Put it right on the fucking bread. Then all the excess peanut butter, all the excess jelly that you wanted that fell on your fucking countertop. Now you take that stuff from the knife and you put it on the other side of the bread and you smooth it over and then you smother it like right over there. Like, man, like.
So do you use here's a good question. This is something I don't know if this was touched on. Do you use a knife or a spoon with your jelly?
I've used both. I use a knife when I have them, but if there's no more knives in my
it's called wash your dishes.
Yeah. I only own like 8 to 10 knives. I don't have that many butter knives.
It's called wash your dishes.
Yeah, I have a dishwasher, but I don't run it every day. I run it like once a week.
There's such a thing as dish soap and a sponge and water.
No, that's too much work. I work 12-hour days. I'm going to go and get a fucking spoon and just spread it with a spoon if I have to. And then I'll just add that to the dishwasher. And then when the dishwasher is full, I'll fucking run the dishwasher. I'm not going to get a knife back out of the dishwasher, wash it by hand, and then reapply a PB&J sandwich, and then put that knife back in the dishwasher when I have spoons right there at my access. Like, I don't know. I only own like 8 peanut butter knives. Sometimes you run low, and then you got to go to a spoon. And what do you do when you run out of spoons? You go to a fork.
So, I always use the spoon. I use the spoon completely. But
So that's my story. I go knife, run out of knives, go to the spoon. Run out of spoons,
that works.
Go to the fork.
Now
the
you
fork
brought
is
up
like a
something
last
else.
resort. Then you really have not run your dishwasher in a long time.
Yeah, when you're out of all three, you basically means you also are using a napkin instead of a plate. So,
yes, I've been there. I've used napkins instead of plates. Actually, and
you brought it up too, and you actually talked about this with the air fryer too. Crustables.
Oh yeah,
Deep fry?
anything. It's an uncrustable, not a crustable. If it was a crustable, there'd be a crust on it. This is an
uncrustable. It's true. It's true.
So
you threw them we used to throw those in the deep fryer in the cabana when I used to work at a pool during the summer. We would throw those into the deep fryer, and they were the most insanely good things.
They're phenomenal. Like, just you throw a PB&J in an air fryer. It doesn't have to be the uncrustable. Like, I'll make a fucking PB&J, toss that right in the air fryer, and oh man, it's phenomenal. It's like, it's a game changer. And guess what? When your air fryer is not clean, it adds more flavor to it. for all those that are wondering.
Kind of like it's kind of keeping the grease, right? You don't want to change out all the grease. You want that,
Yeah.
you want that shrimp and the chicken and the fries all to taste like what else? The deep fried Snickers you threw in a couple weeks ago. Whoops.
Yeah, that the PB&J air fried is a win. It's a win.
Yes, it is. I had never heard of it until I saw Luke's story about it. So I messaged him and said, "Give me some more details on this." So he laid it out, and I tried it. I'm like, totally changed my world.
If you want a little extra flavor, I don't do this, but like a go-to with the air fryer is you toss a little avocado oil on each side of the bread, and then it like makes a little.
I was
crispy.
doing olive oil, extra virgin olive oil.
Yeah, either one. Like
Yeah.
it's good. I just put it in there raw, and it tastes good. So
Nice. Oh man! Well, now we've got ourselves. This has turned into a culinary experience here. Now I didn't even think about the PB&J. I was only thinking about Uncrustables. I was really blinded by the Uncrustable light. Rolled up like a. Never mind. All right. So now if you eat too much PB&J, we'll kind of push this along a little bit as another segue. And you push too hard and you fill yourself with too many preserves. Your tummy might not feel great, and that might lead to you texting your coach and give him excuses to why you can't attend practice. And so Luke and I are both coaches, and we were kind of goofing around. I was at an alumni game yesterday where I talked to some of our guys, and they were telling us about their, some of the, what are some of the worst excuses you've heard from us over the time or whatever. It was crack up and started laughing. I was, thinking about this with Luke, because Luke, obviously with coaching, both cross country and track in the spring, he's dealing with a lot of high school athletes. And you love them to death, but high school athletes, they really do concoct some of these stories, and they really think that they sound fully fucking believable, and they're obviously not even you're like, wow. And because they accentuate some of the points, they get they almost get too explanatory. They start adding way too many. You're like, nobody pays attention to that many things, man. We don't care that it was a 62-degree day and the wind was blowing 2 miles an hour out of the northwest. They've got but we've heard excuses why players can't compete or show up to practice, missing practice, especially on a Fridays. Those are the best ones. So for you, what are some of the best excuses? I got a couple texts that I'll read. But
Okay.
what are some of your best excuses that you've ever gotten as a coach for someone that, like a kid, basically trying to beg out of practice?
Okay, I wouldn't say this is an actual live track meet story, not like a practice. This happened in a meet. And I didn't get the full story behind this until like a year or two later, after the kid graduated and the kids are coming back to visit. We're at a big invitational middle of the year, so it's kind of like we had a really good team that year, and halfway through the season, this is a really good checkpoint because all the top teams in the state are at this meet. And we have one of our kids who's running the 400, but he's not a 400 runner. We're just like, oh, we got to throw somebody in there. You're going to do good enough to score points for us here. Like, he's in the 400, and the kids told me the story like 2 years later. They're like, yeah, he's at the starting line in the blocks, and he false started in the fast heat of the 400. We're like, oh, fuck. Well, we're fucked there. And I went over to our head coach. I go, yeah, I don't know. That was pretty fucking bad. Like, that was a blatant jump way before the gun. And our head coach goes, well, we'll take this guy out of the 4x4 at the end of the meet. We'll put him in. Just go tell him he gets another chance to redeem himself, now that he fucked up in the 4x4. So I went up to the kid. I go, hey, I got good news for you. That sucked. It's really embarrassing in a big meet like this to false start in a 400 or in any race. But you got a chance to redeem yourself. You're going into the 4x4. Let's go. Let's get after it. So he ended up running in the 4x4. 2 years later, the kids in that graduating class came back and told me, yeah, you guys don't know the story behind that? I'm like,
oh, shit.
Yeah, I know the story behind it. He false started. He goes, no, coach. Like, he looked at us before that race and he goes, I don't really want to run this fucking 400. Guys, watch this. I know how to get out of it. He false started on fucking purpose to get out of the race. He's like, oh, I'm good. So then now that looking back at it after that, when I was like, hey, yeah, now you got to run the 4x4. In the back of his brain, he's like, oh, God damn it. I can't get out of running a 400 here. So he thought he was out and he wasn't going to have to fucking run the race. And he still got put back in to have to run another 400 because he thought he was like a 100, 200 specialist. There's no fucking thing as a specialist in track and field. And he's like, in his brain, oh, I can't run a 400. Nope, you're fucked, guy. Like he fucked himself into having to run the 4x4 at the end of the race, end of the meet. Nobody ever wants to run the 4x4. It's the last race of the meet. You've already ran 2 or 3 races. And he false started. He fucking put himself into the 4x4 because he thought he would be done for the day and would not have to compete because he did not want to run that race.
That's better than the ones I got. Shit. Mine are like literally where you're like, are you kidding me right now? I got this one. Okay. So practice usually started at 2:15, right? So I got at 1:46 p.m. Hey, coach, my hand has been really sore today from all of my schoolwork. I was wondering if I could take today off. I will gladly go if you would like me to. Just let me know soon. Thank you. I mean, can you imagine? How do you even temper your response to that one? Because you're like, immediately, I hope everybody that's listening to this said, what the fuck? In their own head. Because what the fuck? But yeah, the response was not, it was not a loving one. But that's one. And there's this one. This one, I actually yesterday, this is what brought the whole discussion out, was the cousin of this actual player. We were talking in the dugout yesterday because he played for me at Bonanza. It was a different program I was at after that. And his cousin said to me, hey, coach, I can't make practice. I'm sick. I've been pooping all day. Crapped myself a little. Like if you can even see it.
Yep.
I mean, insane. And yeah, I'm like, that's the best one I've ever gotten. I mean, that one, I can't really top that. I mean, you got kids that was like, oh, my arm's broken. Baseball, bad throw. Everyone's, oh, my arm. Oh, God, it doesn't work anymore. I broke my arm. I can't pitch.
You mean like Caddyshack? Oh, my arm.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
broken.
Mm-hmm. That happens. But I can't believe that. I've never heard, like, basically you're telling us the equivalent of basically a guy thinking that if he goes out and he strikes out without swinging the bat, he's going to be able to take the day off, and instead he gets put in as the DH.
Oh no, I've got a lot. I've got endless amounts of those too, though. Like insane. Like I had one like last Saturday. It was like 10 minutes before practice started. Hey, coach, my stomach hurts. I've got food poisoning. I saw the kid on Monday, and I go, dude, really? 10 minutes before practice, you're sending an email saying you got food poisoning? I don't think he had food poisoning, man. Like, there's no way 10 minutes. Like, and he goes, no, coach, I got the bubble guts. I can't make it. I couldn't make it. It's like, dude, like, come on. It was a Saturday morning practice. Nobody wants to go to Saturday morning practice. That was your out. Just admit it. He goes, no, that Wendy's got me. That Wendy's got me good. It's like, come on.
And that's you know this as a coach too. The biggest big middle finger, if like they're pissing you off, is you really want to ruin their weekend. You can say, we're gonna have an early Saturday. Early Saturdays are the Friday night ruiners for every single high school kid ever, because the fact that they have to behave themselves. If you have something early on a Saturday morning, nope. So that's the gift. And that's when the one where you get like a lot of the bubble guts. Like, I got food poisoning. No, you're hungover, bro. 100%. Like, can I talk to your parents? What? No, I'll be at practice. See you there.
Yep. That's there's endless amounts of them. But then there's the real ones. You get like real emails like, oh, I can't go to practice today. I'm like, why? What's going on? I'm like, oh, I have a conflict. Well, why don't you just tell me what your conflict is, kid? And they're like, well, I really like to play the piano and I have a piano recital. I'm like, cool, go to your piano recital, man. Like that's cool. But like, don't lie about it. Don't be embarrassed about it. Just tell the truth. Like, you're like, come on.
Shreve's dumbass. We were actually talking about this yesterday too. Chasen Shreve, who's pitching with the Tigers, his freshman year, incoming freshman during the summer. One of the kids on the team got in trouble. He got caught saying some words he shouldn't have said in front of a lot of people at an all-star game. And so after the game was over, I was going to go ahead and reminder run them about it. No big deal. It was like a 90, maybe 92-degree day. It wasn't like one of those 110-degree days here in the summer, but whatever. So they're just going to run some polls. And afterwards, and they're dying, they're running, and they're dragging ass. And I'm a little bit upset. This is my first year coaching, by the way. So like I'm pumped to this too. I'm basically trying to channel Bobby Knight for some fucking reason. And they're running, and like, so I'm like, they mostly got it, but then one of the parents actually comes up to me. This is the best part, and I'm like, we were dying about this yesterday because they're older and they think it's hilarious. But the dad, Doug, bless his heart, he's a great guy. He's like, Coach, this is unacceptable. We can't be running these guys. They're exhausted. I'm like, they just played a 2-hour game. They're gonna be fine. Like, it's not that big a deal. And he's like, no, they're just not. This is too much. And I'm like, he goes, don't you know they've been at the lake all day swimming? They're exhausted. I'm like, Doug, did you just tell me that before our game today that these guys were all at the lake swimming for hours, and this is why I'm like, well, that explains why we just got 10 runs. So all right, but and they're like, oh my god, like to this day, Jason's like, we were embarrassed because obviously telling the coach that you were swimming all day is like the last thing you ever want to do. That's like the one thing we ask you to not do during the summer is don't go swimming before a game. Go after. No. At the lake.
There's the number of excuses are endless, and some of them are real. Like I got one kid that said, "Hey, coach, I can't be at practice tomorrow." Okay, why? Like dentist appointments, orthodontist appointments, doctors, that stuff that's going to happen. That's going to come up. He legit said, "No, I got to get a haircut. My mom got me a haircut appointment." I'm like, dude, no, that's not a doctor. Like you can reschedule a haircut appointment anytime. He goes, no, you don't understand. I gotta go and get my fade. It's like, no, dude, like you gotta be at practice. He goes, my mom's gonna kill me. I'm like, have your mom call me if she has a question about you rescheduling your appointment. Like, do you have to leave early to get there? Is it far away? He's like, yeah, no, we can make it happen. I'm like, make it happen where you get to practice, you show up, you're here at the start, and you leave early, and then you get your fresh fade, and then you're all good. And he's like, I got you. And then he did. He made it work, but it was like his whole thing was like, this was, again, another early morning practice, and he's like, I got to get my fade.
Like, what's up with you guys in your early morning practices? Come on, man.
We don't do many of them.
I hate them.
We try not to. Because coaches also need rest.
I don't like Saturday practice in general, actually. They know that it's something serious when we have a Saturday practice. Nope.
Yeah. I used to have to do 7 a.m. practices with equipment on. So you had to get there earlier to get your equipment on so you're ready for 7 o'clock. And if it was raining out, guess what you did? You did the 3 floors of stairs in the school.
I don't always do it. So remember, now take this into consideration as coaches. If we have a 7 o'clock practice, that means we have to be there at 6:15 in the morning because we have to open up everything. We gotta unlock everything. That's so yeah. We actually, it's kind of funny. There's a such thing as overtraining, and I think that Saturdays for high school kids, actually, I believe firmly that kids, they should get their weekends. I have no problem with that. Like if something really needs to be addressed, you're mid-league, an occasional one is totally fine, but I don't get these guys that are like six days a week. Every program that we've been in and we were successful, we didn't practice on Saturdays. The kids actually went and did their homework and spent time to be teenagers, because there's some programs that'll suck the teen right out of them, and that sucks. You know that too, Luke. You've seen it where like the kids are so almost overloaded where they're not even having fun anymore, and they don't get to do things like play piano or maybe be in a theater production too. Like they can actually be kids. They can actually be teenagers. They can go do teenager stuff instead of just your sport.
So we have a lot of track meets that are on Saturdays. Like that's like your competition day for cross country and track. A lot of times, that's Saturday,
right?
I mean,
and you give them but you make up to it, make it up to them too by early week stuff. You probably taper it back early in the week.
Yeah,
there's
a system. There's a system that works for it, and you just gotta tailor it to the program and to the sport and everything to make sure that they stay interested.
Yeah, so. Speaking of competition too, besides these excuses, because there's a lot of excuses, but I don't know what Beef's excuse is going to be. But the 108 tournament's coming up here really soon, and I know that you've been a part of this process. let's talk real quick about the 108 tournament. And it's coming up. What are the dates for it first off, and then kind of explain. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you've been listening to our podcast, you know what the hell this is. But when is it coming, and then what can we expect this year? I know that Beef's been kind of like jumping out and plugging it a lot lately. So how is it looking? And I know you've been a part of this. What's going on?
So the selection show is going to be March 9th, Thursday, March 9th at 8:00. It'll be a longer show, like 3 hours. That's a long
It's
show.
like almost 3 hours long.
Yeah. So I'll be on there with the 108 guys, Beef, My Sack Summer, Chotzel, those three. And then if they do it like they did last year, there'll be rotating guests that come through. It's a good time where we reveal the brackets, and then the following week, I believe it's that Tuesday or Wednesday is when the first round goes up. Like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the following week is when the first round shows up.
Yeah, they try and coincide it with the NCAA.
Yeah.
First round. Because you have the play-in games for the 68, or I don't know if they've changed it, where you have the play-in games on like Tuesday or Monday and Tuesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, and then it goes from there.
So yeah, and it's all going to build up to opening day. I think opening day for baseball is on Thursday, so the championship round of the 108 tournament will be on that Wednesday. So really looking forward to it. The big thing, like if you've seen Beeflo's tweets, is like the field is the same number of entries as last year, but there's going to be some changes. There's going to be some prominent names that are going to be out. There's going to be a lot of newcomers that have been around, that have been on the bubble in the past, or maybe they're brand new in the last 1 to 2 years that are going to be in. We got to shake it up a little bit. Some people that have been around, we've talked about this. Some people that have been around haven't done much in the tournament. They just seem like they don't really get involved. They don't care. So
James Fegan.
I don't even know who that is. Like, never heard of him. There's going to be some shakeups. I wouldn't say there's significant shakeups, but there's going to be some shakeups to where people that have been in the field and think they're maybe a legacy or grandfathered in or whatever, they might be out. There's some newcomers that have been knocking on the door that want to be in that haven't gotten in. We got to give other people. You got to
earn it.
There's such
you got to earn it.
There's such a big plethora of White Sox Twitter personalities out there that really should get an opportunity in this tournament to fucking show what they can do and like pump up their content and promote what they're doing, as opposed to some other guys that have been around that just haven't done much lately. Right. So,
and can I say, as someone who helped them out the first few years on the 108 tourney, there is still time to get in there. That field is not set until basically like 4:00 in the afternoon that day, or 5:00 even that day. So it's organic. And I can think of one example. I'm not going to give names, where somebody was in and somebody else bounced them out in like the last 2 hours before the actual reveal show.
Oh, and that's something that's going to probably happen, because you have people that might say something that it's like cancelable. You might have somebody that deletes their Twitter randomly and we can't find their shit anymore all of a sudden. Like, all of a sudden the field changes because their account got suspended. No idea who would ever get their account suspended and canceled. There's nobody on Sox Twitter has ever gotten their account canceled. But in the event that it does get canceled and their account gets suspended, there's some backup options, you know, and stuff that I haven't been part of the field with before in like years past. Like, the field gets announced and then Beefloaf the next day says, "Hey, this guy said he doesn't want to even be part of the tournament. So we got to do a poll to get people involved. Who do you think?" Like, the field's always going to be changing. Like, most of it is like set in stone. It's getting closer to that, but there's always room. Like, if you want to get into the tournament, you better start speaking the fuck up. Like, right now. Like this is your, like, we're 4.5 weeks away.
And-
And if you've been kind of stagnant and now you want to jump into the tournament, you still got a chance to speak up and get in. But like, come on. Like,
But I want to clarify one thing you said. When you say speak up, it's not going on Twitter saying I want to be in the 108 tournament. You have to deliver the goods.
yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's definitely content related.
Yes.
Um,
So it's not just going, hey, Beef, I want to be in. No, you got to deliver the goods for them to see.
you got to have the right ebb and flow. You got to have the right tweets to say. You don't have to do a video all the time, but if you produce good, hilarious tweets and it's presented the right way, and then all of a sudden, like, Beef sees it, I see it, My Sock Summer, and Chotel sees it, then man, oh shit, we got to think about this guy. Like, it's ultimately, you don't leave, what's the phrase? I don't even know the phrase. Leave no stone unturned. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct. Yep.
Like, most of it seems to be set in stone, but you can't just say this is the field, we're done. Like,
well, like last year,
I wouldn't say concrete. I would say like limestone, soft stone,
Yeah. And last year, Brian Knights came out of like pretty much nowhere with his content.
He was. I don't know if he was a 2 or a 3 or a 4 seed.
Yeah,
like we knew. Like, well, I wasn't part of the field the selection.
The selection last year, yeah.
But like when he got announced, I was like, dude, this guy could do some shit. Like, and then when he just kept building the momentum, like. And then I went up against him head to head, and I was like, "All right, I'm in Vegas. I don't care too much about this right now, but I'm."
That's right. You were in Vegas. Yeah,
you were in Vegas. I shot a thing from the Tupac
from Bailey's,
where Tupac was where Jordan Miller killed Tupac.
Yep.
Koval and Flamingo.
It was great, and like every video that he put out there, though, like when he pumped his shit. Like in our matchup, every time he put a video up, I was like, dude, it doesn't matter what I do. I could film all the craziest shit from Vegas right now. This guy's got it. Like, he's going to win the whole fucking thing. Like when I went head to head with him, like I was like, this guy's got it. Like I just knew like he's going to fucking win the tournament. Like before that, he had some good matchups and good content. But then when I was going head to head with him, that's when I was like, that's the fucking guy that's going to win the entire tournament this year. Like nobody else is going to beat that.
If you're unfamiliar with this too, by the way, it's a tournament format. So like every person goes face off against somebody else, and it's based on a vote. And so the content obviously is what speaks for itself. And we've seen, guys, shirtless, chubby guys with candle wax. We've seen dudes beer bonging for locos. There's been, guys singing songs, karaoke. I mean, gosh, the guys from the 108, especially this time of year, their Cameo account is bringing in a lot of scratch because they're getting a lot of requests for endorsements on their Cameo. But there's been the content's insane. Like some of the stuff, it's kind of who's willing to go nuts. There was some sword play at one point with like a samurai sword. I feel like, which was dangerous.
Yep. Summer George, who won 2 years ago, like fucking broad as shit.
The first couple years, White Sox Dave won it, and basically White Sox Dave, to his credit, said, count me out because he was bringing all the Barstool votes, which was just overwhelming everyone else. So. People would vote for him just because he was with Barstool. And he said, this isn't really fair. I'll be like, I forget what, like, ambassador emeritus, or I forget what the exact title was.
Yeah.
So Dave is still involved with it. He is just not a participating contestant, if you will. And also from the 108 is on right now. And they just posted a message saying, Luke's giving you a lot of info without spilling the beans, but the field is pretty close to being finished.
I'm not spilling any beans.
That means you still have time. Yes, you still have time. So
he did tell us
your shit together. If you want to be in it and you haven't been busy.
It's true. And Luke did reveal, though, guys. Sorry about that. He did tell us that Bruce Willis is a ghost at the end of the 108 tourney. So there was
that was actually you're talking about last year with Brian Knights, who got the back in a bar stool, and he had a lot of people. That finale last year with Brian Knights versus Alyssa Bergamini was fucking insane because you had so many media outlets. There's so many eyes on the 108 tourney. It was fucking incredible. It was like, who gives a fuck who you vote for at this point? Everybody is looking at White Sox Twitter at this point, at this last 2 hours. Like Brian Knights did a fucking Spaces to get everybody over the hump. It was just so many media outlets, Chicago related at least.
Yes, and to the credit
at the 108 tourney.
Right. And to the credit of the 108 guys, Herb Lawrence, before he left the score, actually had Beef in studio with him explaining the purpose of the 108 tourney, what it was, how it works, and everything else. And this was a good, I want to say he was there for about an hour going through all this with Herb.
Oh, so
Beef
will explain the 108 tourney on the score is what you're saying, right?
Yes.
So Beer Garden Jim did not listen to that show is what you're saying.
Well, I will also say that Beef Loaf last year, and he just retweeted it a couple days ago, put out a video explaining the 108 tourney, what it is, and things like that. So go look at their YouTube channel. The video should still be there explaining what it is, how it works, and everything else like that. And like I said, having been privy to the inner workings of it the first couple years, it's changed now because, to their credit, they've grown and expanded it. I was there when it was the first year I was in it when it was like 16 people, and it was like me, Wally, Beef, Chozo, MSS, or it might have been 32 people. I can't remember, but it was something they did as a lark, as a joke, and it just freaking took off.
Why do you got to call Beef Loaf's big grand vision a joke like that, man?
Because Chozo and MSS called it a joke at the time he pitched it to him.
Oh, wow.
It's grown into such a huge fun thing.
It's a blast.
The biggest thing I've noticed to learn from it is just fucking have fun with it.
Yes.
Don't fucking don't be like,
don't be a dick.
Man,
don't be a dick.
Promote people's shit. Grow their following, have fun with it, and if you don't get involved in it, then fucking whatever. But the people that are tuned in and get involved with it, I've always said, man, that's a lot of fun. I'm glad it's over. I'm really tired. But guess what? That was a lot.
It's a lot of fun. And every year, I don't know how you feel about this, Luke, but every year I found a handful of accounts where I'm like, I really like what that person's doing. I'm going to have to follow them. And that's part of the initiative of it too, is to it's almost like, I don't want to say it's like dating, but it's sort of like a make a new friend kind of thing.
Yep. Mm-hmm. You get connected to a lot of new people through it.
Yes.
That you didn't know about before. So
right. Like I knew nothing about Brian Knights before last year.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was I knew I had followed him before the tournament.
Yeah.
And I'd seen a lot of his shit, and I knew he worked at Sox Park in the United Center, but I'd never met him until this past year.
Right.
And the 108 tourney was probably a big reason why, hey, we got to meet this guy now. We got to fucking go say what's up and bullshit with them. And, it was.
And I will say one other thing about the 108 tourney. One of the best times is honestly right after the reveal show. Right after is going out and looking at certain accounts, and I'm not going to say who, but I'm sure people can figure it out. I know Luke knows one in particular, and getting their reaction about not making the tournament.
Well, don't get your account suspended 17 times.
So think of who. That could possibly be, Chozo, and you'll know.
Nice. Well, with that, Chozo is on notice. But But it's going to be a good time. So make sure you guys keep a focus on this. But we're definitely going to put a pin on this today and kind of get on out. But Luke, we want to thank you for joining us. Again, it's always a pleasure, my man. Always appreciate you. Again, like I said, you're one of our favorite dudes, humans or in organisms on Twitter. All of those things. And real quick, tell everybody what your Twitter handle is, where they can find you.
By the way, could I just interrupt real quick? The From the 108 account just put a message on there. It says, my DMs are a mess after the show. Beef.
After the reveal show, I'm sure he's like, hey,
yes,
that's actually why he's probably asking me to help him with the tourney field this year. So like now he's like, oh yeah, Brewhand Luke, just go talk to Brewhand Luke. I don't want to deal with this shit. Like, just fucking go ask him. It was his idea.
Shifting the blame is what he's doing.
Don't ask me. That was Brewhand Luke. Like,
love you, Beef. You're the man.
Yeah. So that'll be get real quick before we get out of here. Tell everybody where they can find you and your PB&J takes on the socials.
You can find me when my internet is working on Twitter at Brewhand Luke. I'm going to make sure that it's working a lot better for the 108 reveal show.
I hope so.
I've got another modem in the back here. I'm going to have to fix that. So Brewhand Luke on Twitter. I write a lot of beer blogs and stuff for the 108. I think that's it. I don't know. What else? Where else can you find?
And you could find them in section 108 during the season.
Yeah,
row 16, seats 1 and 2.
That's right.
Yeah. And it's from the108.com/category/beer is where you can read some of these. Did the 24 beers right over the break? Did the 24 beers?
I did 24 beers and 24 Christmas beers in 24 days on a beer advent calendar. You can find that on the YouTube page of the 108, youtube.com/from the 108.
Yeah,
maybe.
yes. And if you don't subscribe to the From the 108. If you don't subscribe to them on YouTube, you really should, because some of their content is absolutely fantastic. Beef's question of the day is awesome.
And tomorrow night, the Aju with Southside Bill will be on tomorrow night as a guest. That's Beef's.
It's pronounced Aju. Yeah, Aju.
Solo project. He's like Paul McCartney. He went off on his own. And so, or is it maybe Ringo? I'm not sure. It's the name.
Oh, yeah. Zoe's going to be on there tomorrow night.
Yes, Father Zoe is on there.
Looking forward to that.
So great job, though. We appreciate you again coming on, Luke. Anything else to say? Little parting words or whatever, and then we'll shoot it over to Pete and let Pete take us out. So
that's been a great time. Thanks for having me. My internet is fully functioning again, and it will be probably until the fucking 108 tourney reveal. We'll see you then.
Yeah, just make sure you give it some rest so it's ready to go that night. Because it is a long night.
It'll rest.
And I know Pete's going to mention. Don't forget to mention the February 18th too. By the way,
yes, Pete. Yes. So. February 18th, Yumper and Zvo are doing a podcast at Wiener Circle, and joining them will be the Chicago Sports Bums. All three of them will be together with Yumper and Zvo talking movies, eating hot dogs, and drinking beer. What more do you want in life than that? I mean, honestly. But definitely, if you can, yes, and they are going to go out to a bar, and I forget the name of the bar right afterwards. So you could go hang with them as well after the podcast, grab a beer with them, talk shop, hang out, whatever you want to do. But yes, Luke, give us one more bear claw for the road, please. There you go.
Show me your mean face, Kenny.
Yeah, give me your mean face. That ain't a mean face. Give me a mean face. Give me your kill face.
Which, by the way, my math is fucking impossible, man. Sorry.
Oh, yes, and the bar is Burwood Tap. Yumper just
there it is.
Reminded me that the bar they're going to after the podcast is Burwood Tap. So with that, thanks a lot for joining, everyone. We know that your time is valuable, and we truly appreciate you taking the time to listen to our insanity, our silliness, our takes, and whatever else it may be. So with that, have a good night, have a good week, and aloha.